Second rule of Fight Club is you do not talk about...
Jesus Christ, that's Jason Bourne.
English, mother...
Body, you ain't got no job, and you ain't got shit to do.
Let's put a smile on that face.
What's up, film family? Welcome to the Film Room Podcast. My name is Scott.
My name's Dion.
And today we're talking about the 2022 German anti-war film, All Quiet on the Western Front, directed by Edward Berger. It's the third film adaptation of the 1929 novel by Erich Maria Remarque. And in this episode, we're going to be giving our thoughts. We're going to get some listener opinions, finish with the Filmmies like we always do. But before all of that, we always start with our general thoughts. General thoughts. Go ahead, Dion. What do you think of the movie? This is your first time watching it, right?
Yeah, this is my first time watching it, and I thought it was a really powerful film. Like, I didn't know it was an anti-war film. I mean, I assume not majority of all war films are anti-war films. Sometimes they take a different perspective. Yeah, I was gonna say a lot of them take the perspective. At least a lot of the ones that I've seen actually end up being anti-war films. So my mind leans to, okay, I guess they're all kind of like that. But there definitely is other cases. Sometimes there's comedies, so like they have Jojo Rabbit and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But no, I thought it was a really powerful movie. This wasn't your first time seeing it?
This was my first time seeing it.
Okay.
And I liked it too. I think it has that powerfulness, and I think that's what I love most about war movies. We always say, I'm the war movie guy. You're not the war movie guy. When we do horror, you're the horror guy. I'm not the horror guy. And it's funny because I kind of realized before even starting this movie what I look for in this movie and what you look for in a horror movie and kind of the way it ties together. So basically, like, because you talk about like in movies, they always want to make you feel something, right? In a comedy, they want to make you laugh. In a horror movie, they want to make you feel scared. In this movie, or in this kind of movie, I guess, they want to make you feel sad.
Yeah.
So so to me, like when I'm going into the movie, I'm looking for that emotion to feel sadness. I'm looking for that aspect of brotherhood that's in a lot of these war movies. I'm looking for some good battle scenes, and this movie checked a lot of those boxes. I didn't love this movie. It wasn't like my favorite. To me, it was a little bit too dramatic. There was a lot of drama involved with it, which is like, again, going into a movie, I know it's a movie, but like, to me, there was a little bit too much drama. But I think that horror comparison is kind of cool.
Yeah, no, it's funny. I kind of one note that I put down as like, I put that war movies like are their own type of horror movies when you think about it.
Okay,
because it's just like there's different levels of horror movie when they just go straight for like the grief, and sometimes they go for the jump scare, sometimes they go for like the slasher. And like there's specific movies, like a movie that's called Bring Her Back. There's a movie that came out earlier this year. And it's really about like the grieving process of like a mom losing her daughter and like all like the psychological and a lot of the other things that they go through. And it's just like the movie at the end of the day is like to make you kind of feel bad for her and like the sense of like, oh, she lost a daughter and like all the other parts of it. And like I feel like that's very similar with like war movies. Not all of them are like that, as we were saying from the top, that like not all war movies have that feel to them where they're trying to make you sad in an anti-war kind of way. But I just kind of was thinking about that parallel I was watching, especially this movie, just how tragic it is. I'm like, it feels like I'm watching like a different kind of horror movie.
That's interesting. I mean, I think something that this movie specifically as well, the way it kind of mirrors some horror movies, obviously they're not all the same, but like the type of horror where you have a group of people, say they're like, a group of friends going to a cottage for a weekend and then there's a killer. And then they're all getting picked off like one by one. Mm-hmm. This kind of has that too, where like we start with this group of guys and they all end up dying. Yeah. And it's just a matter of, it's not a horror monster, like killer on the loose. They're in war, but they're all kind of dying one by one. And you're kind of just like, okay, how is this guy? Like they're just dropping like flies kind of in that same sense.
No, for sure. And I think there's that element of stakes that you get where like, I don't go into every war movie thinking that like, okay, all these dudes are gonna die. Maybe two of them are gonna survive. Maybe one of them's gonna survive. So like, I think there is that like that level of stakes. You're like, okay, I don't know. Like, I should take all these scenes seriously because like someone can actually die. This isn't like a little kids movie or something like, oh no, they're all gonna be fine. Like that there's stakes. So like
Yeah.
there's that element to it as well.
And that is true. Like you don't know that everybody's gonna die. Now that we've seen the movie, we know that
Yeah.
everybody's gonna die. And yeah, I think it's interesting that that parallel. It's funny you talked about not every movie war movies an anti-war movie. Like there's a lot of the classic mostly American ones, I guess, where in their defense, like if we're talking about World War One or World War Two, which most war movies are about
Yeah.
surrounding, the Allies are the ones that won. So like it can be more of like a happy story in that sense of like, look, we defeated the bad guys, but
Yeah.
history is told by the victor. And that's one thing that I like a lot about these war movies, why I'm a big fan of them, is the history interests me.
Hmm.
And it's a movie, I know they're going to take liberties with some stuff, but I like when there's little pieces of it in there. Like in this one, the tags, when they're collecting tags, that little metal
Yeah.
plate that on their necklace is the equivalent of like dog tags now. um, the way that the tanks that they were being used in the movie. There's a lot of little things, and I'll mention them as we go through. But that's another thing that I like about war movies.
Yeah. No, that stuff is really interesting. And I thought like, yeah, the anti-war messaging like through the soldier's journey it was really strong to me. And again, like this again, we have that same kind of thing. It happened with 28 Days Later, it happened with Weapons, where it's just like I'm not as familiar with the maybe like the cliches or the kind of
Hmm.
things that you see all the time in horror movies. So this thing could be littered with cliches, and for me, it's just like, oh, like I've never seen them kind of thing. So I feel like that always ends up leaning why maybe in this case you didn't love it as much, and I was like, oh, I think this is really strong because like I don't
Yeah,
know, there's no like cliche that I'm like, oh, they did that thing again, or like, oh, it's really dramatic. To me, horror like most war movies are dramatic.
yeah. I mean, they are. You're not wrong, and like I don't fault it for being dramatic like at all. Like
Mm,
like I said, I walk into a movie and I know it's not a documentary. I'm not expecting to see found footage of World War One. Like
yeah,
that's just not what this is going to be. So I don't mind that, but I think in some moments, like for example, when they're running, I mean, a lot of this movie is them just running away from English soldiers, but
yeah,
in one of the scenes, they're running away and they're, run, 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 turn around, shoot, 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 run around, turn around, shoot, shoot, shoot. And like, I feel like they kind of have a little bit of that plot armor, our
mm,
main guys, so that they can be saved for like their death is like a big thing. Like
yeah,
it's not like every single one of our characters has like a meaningful death, which again is not, it's dramatic,
yeah,
but this is kind of like that's the war movie like trope, I guess. That's the
yeah.
war movie thing, is like all of your main characters are gonna have their own moment, which again is like it's the same in every movie. Not every movie, but a lot of war movies have this, and I don't necessarily fault this for that specifically. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out like exactly pinpoint what the moments are, but I think it's like for example when he dies right at the end, and then the kid comes and he's looks over him for a second, takes the scarf from him and puts it on him. Like he doesn't know the backstory of that scarf. He wouldn't do that.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Yeah, because yeah, those two didn't really. We saw them have one interaction when he was kind of just like holding him and like pushing him like ahead of him when they were going.
Mm,
So yeah, they didn't really establish that there was any like really relationship between those
yeah.
two. So yeah, yeah, the scarf. Because part of me, that I actually wrote that down. So I was like, why did he take the scarf? Like I thought he was
Yeah.
collecting tags. Like why
Yeah.
did he not take his tag?
Yeah. Yeah. That was a question that I had too. That like for the end was like, is that like that was clearly intentional for them to? The
Yeah,
director was like, don't take his tag. Why do you think that is?
I don't know.
I have an idea. I think like to
Okay.
me, I was like, maybe it's because one of the themes, I guess, the overarching themes of this movie is like it's an anti-war movie, so it's like the useless bloodshed, right?
Yeah.
And they get sent into this battle when there's 15 minutes left to the armistice, and this is just a massive waste of human life.
Yeah.
So I think it kind of goes with that theme, saying like his life was almost useless. Like he's not even collecting the tags. Like all the stuff that we went through with this guy in this movie, it was all for nothing because he just died for nothing. And then 10
Mm,
minutes later, or not even 10 minutes, like right after he dies, like 30 seconds later, everyone just stops.
yeah.
So I think it's kind of like pushing that home of like this this guy died for absolutely nothing, and now he's dead, and we don't even have his identity, and his life was just useless. Everything that we just did was useless. War sucks.
Yeah, no, that's a
Yeah.
fair point. Yeah, I think that's a perfect like depiction of what that was, because like I didn't like read anything on it. Like I kind of was just like questioned it in the sense of like more on that kid. I wasn't even thinking about like
Mm.
the director purposely putting in there, but I think that perfectly makes sense of a
Yeah.
reasoning.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, that stuff is dramatic, and those are some things that I didn't like as much. But overall, I still really like the movie. Like I think there's a lot more good than bad. I kind of
Mhm.
realized this after we talked about Superman.
Yeah.
Like when I was when I was like listening back to the episode, I was like, man, I was really hard on like the stuff that I didn't like about it. There was more good than bad. So like, and this one's true. Like there was a few little things I didn't like, but overall, there was more good than bad, and I'm excited to talk about it.
All right, perfect. But before we get to that, let's get
Before we
into our
just get into our thoughts, let's talk about it with the family.
let's hear from the family.
I don't have friends. I got family.
Welcome, film family, to the family meeting. This week on our Instagram story, I asked the question, how does this rank in war films?
Okay.
And I'm interested to hear what you have to say about this, because I don't even know how many war films you've seen, but we'll talk about. But the family said 2/3 of them, 67%, said it's one of the best. It won 4
Okay.
Academy Awards, so that doesn't super surprise. The book is like an all-time bestseller. I haven't read it, but I'm sure it's great. And then 17% and 17%, so split on the rest of the votes. One said middle of the pack. The other said really didn't love it. So
Okay.
I'm curious, for out of the movies you've seen, is it
Out
one of the
of
best?
it's definitely, I think it's definitely a movie that I think is gonna stick with me, just
Mm,
because there's definitely a lot of memorable scenes, and like again, the whole the dramatic conversation is a conversation that I agree, but on the other side, I'm like thinking, okay, well, it's a movie. We're really
yeah,
trying to push a message home,
exactly.
and the dramatic scenes I think like really stick with me, because I haven't seen these in certain movies, like just specifically the what's the scene I want to talk about? I mean, I guess just what was it, Franz? Yeah, it was Franz that was like stabbing his neck
Oh,
with the
that was
fork.
that's the to Jodin.
Oh, to Jordan.
Jodin?
Oh
Maybe
no,
you just
to
say Jodin. But yeah.
Jordan. Oh yeah, Franz was the one that is Franz the one with the scarf
I
or the
think
cloth?
so. I'm really not. I mean, because I'm looking at the cast, and like I just don't know who's who, and like the names almost don't stick with me too much because they're German, and it's just like
Yeah.
it's that barrier is
Okay,
there.
well
But
that, you know, the scene I'm talking about though. There's
okay,
that
yeah,
scene. There's the scenes when of them just like the way they're reacting to the ball. Like the first thing I just related to is the last one I saw, which was 1917.
hmm
Like I'm thinking of the comparisons in that movie and comparing it to this, and then before that, maybe the last war movie I saw was Inglorious Bastards. That's a completely different kind of,
yeah,
a
very
completely
different.
different
Yeah,
kind of war movie. That's another example of like how war movies are just different. Like that movie's
hmm
not really about like the battle and stuff like that. It's like all the stuff around the war.
well, and that's a fictional story of how World War II ends. Like
Yeah,
it's in the setting of World War II, but the story is completely fictional.
no, exactly. But no, yeah, I as far as where I can't think of where to rank it, because now you put me
Well,
on
just
the
out of the
spot.
ones that you've seen, and I
Okay,
don't
out of
even
the
need
ones
a
there's,
number. Just is it
yeah,
one of
yeah,
the
yeah.
best, middle of the pack, or
I'd say it's one of the
number two?
best.
Okay.
I put it up there for one of the best, because I haven't seen that many like bad war movies, because
Yeah.
I only really end up watching the ones that people say, no, I know you're not a war movie, but you got to watch this one, and
That
then I end
yeah,
up watching those
that's
ones.
fair.
So I haven't seen that many bad, or I can't think of any bad war movies that I've seen.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
I wouldn't ask you to rank it on every war movie because
yeah,
yeah, we
yeah,
can only talk about the ones we've seen. I would say this is one of the best as well. And
yeah.
it
Okay,
like I had like I said, I have my beefs with, but honestly, the more that we've even just talked about it, like it's just a classic war movie thing that in these scenes, like when Paul, for example, he's running through and he ends up in the one of the craters and he's hiding from the people, but one guy sees him, so they have this knife fight and he stabs him a bunch of times, and he's dying for like 20 years,
yeah,
and Paul like he goes to finish the kill and then he's sad about it and then he goes to try and help him, and like that's like a again that's like a pushing the message home of like
yeah,
you're in the moment right away, you have it's life or death, you have to kill the guy, but then while he's dying, you have this moment of humanity, and you have this empathy for the person. You know, he takes out his photos and looks at he sees that he's got a wife and kids and all this stuff. And that is hammering that message home of like, war sucks. These are real people, not just like numbers and dog tags. These are real lives being killed. But like, the scene is very long, and that's the kind of stuff that I'm like, okay, this is very dramatic. But overall, I think this is one of the best. Like, that's a war movie thing, and to me, it was a little overdone, but overall, great movie. One of the best.
That's another scene I think would stick with me too. It's that, and just like that, and then I think of like the last scene too, especially like just the idea of the fact that like the ceasefires at 11, it's like I do one more attack. So it's just that extra layer of like dread. It's like, and nobody wants to do it too. Everyone's just like, man, I don't really want to do it. So like that other element too. And I feel like I haven't seen that many World War One movies. A lot of them have been
True.
World War Two. So it's kind of just like getting a little more of that history too, because like I'm not a huge war history buff. Like I like history, like I like things about like world history and stuff like that, but specifically war is not like my thing that I gravitate to. So like whenever I watch like a World War One movie or World War Two movie, it's usually like teaching me stuff that like that I know a little bit, and then I'm like, oh, okay, I didn't know any. It's like, is that true? I'm like Googling things. I'm like, oh, did that really happen? Like that was kind of like me during this movie. Eloise watched the movie with me, and she was kind of like telling me stuff because she likes war history too.
Oh, she knows a lot about that stuff.
Well, her dad and her brother like love watching like war movies and reading war books. So I think that's kind of just in.
Did she like it?
Yeah, she liked it. Yeah.
Okay.
It's funny. I remember when this movie. I remember when it came out. We went to TIFF that year. I remember people were talking about it. Like it was a TIFF movie. You look at the poster, it has TIFF on top of it, and I remember everyone was like, "Oh, like." But again, because I wasn't a war movie guy, I was like, I don't. We can go. Let's go watch another movie. But I remember there was
movie instead.
I remember there was buzz. There was buzz on it.
Yeah,
we were talking about it when it was at TIFF.
Well, and it's like it's based on this super famous book, and again, like I think just the power in the story of these characters, and again, like knowing that all this stuff is real, I think is what adds a little bit of like emotion to, for me anyways, that when I watch a war movie, like when I want to walk out and like I feel that emotion, like it's just like sadness. Like I said, I want to feel sad because this stuff actually happened. Like when we talk about horror movies and you're like, you want to feel scared. And I'm like, I don't enjoy, that's not a good feeling, being scared, and being sad isn't a good feeling either. Mm-hmm. But to me, I think it's necessary because this stuff is real. It's not like this story specifically is fictional. The author, he wrote it based on his own experience. He was in World War I, but the exact beats of the story isn't real, but World War I actually happened. Right. So I think it's important to like remember that. And like when you're watching these things, know that like people actually went through not exactly this, but stuff like this. And that's why I think the sadness is like necessary and important.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I agree. I don't have another point on that.
Okay.
I lost my train
of done.
No, I lost my train of thought. Like as I was gonna say something, I was letting you continue, which I wanted to hear what you were saying, and then I just lost my train of thought. So I was just like,
my bad.
Yeah, no, it's not. I wanted you to say your point. I didn't want to cut you off because
you'll remember. It'll come back.
Maybe you would have lost your point.
True.
But yeah, maybe it'll come back to me.
It will. All right. Well, entering the deep dive now. My first point is, did you notice how important like food was in this story?
Yeah, no, for sure. Like that was one of the points that Eloise pointed out to me too.
Okay.
Like when like the difference of like what the French were eating versus what they were eating.
Not only that, like yes, that I have what do I have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like separate points of food.
Okay, go.
In this movie. So when they at one point the Germans, they start attacking and they go like full John Wick. We get our guy Kat and Tajadin. Those are the two like guys, the mentors, I guess, of all these young men. Paul even gets like a shovel kill. That was pretty crazy. So this is what I say, like hard hitting battle scenes. This is what I'm looking for in a war movie. So he gets a shovel kill. We get a full John Wick tag team, and then they find the table full of food, right? Because the English were winning the war, so they just have better rations there's a better living situations. They're just in better shape. So
Mhm.
they find all this food. As soon as they see that the coast is clear, they immediately start just like digging
Yeah.
in. So I
Mhm.
think that's like even just telling us without telling us what I just said, that like the Germans are in rough shape. They have no money. They're barely getting any food. All they're getting is like potatoes and bread. When they find food, they just dig the hell in.
What was that? I thought that was the French at that point, like the food that they were when they're
Maybe it
drinking the
was
wine.
French.
When they're drinking the, because I think it was, well, I don't, I could be wrong, because there was French in there, I remember, but like I was just thinking specifically because I remember them drinking wine, so my mind was maybe thinking that was the French at that point.
Were you thinking of the soldiers? The soldiers were drinking wine?
No, well, I'm talking about like I'm talking about Paul and them when they took that moment you're talking about.
Mm.
I thought
Did they,
that
is
was the
there wine there?
French's. I
Maybe
thought
it's
there
French.
was.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know,
There
but
really might
either to
be.
your point, to your, it still goes
They're on
to
the
your
same
point still.
team. It's the
Yeah,
same.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, but it really shows you because like there's a big emphasis on the food, especially like when they're struggling to get things, like they have to steal from the farm
Yep.
and like they're
Exactly. That's another one.
starving. Yeah, and that with your point of them like, oh man, like they got food, like let's grub in because like
Yep.
we don't have nothing, like 'cause that things are scarce at this point. Like
Yep.
they're I don't think they say exactly what year it is, but I think it's we know it's near the end, so it's like
They do. There are a few timestamps. I didn't writing them down, but
okay.
I think it's around 1917. Actually, we were talking about that movie,
Yeah,
but
okay, yeah, yeah. There's no specific like time jumps like a year later or anything like that. Like when we're with them,
no.
it's like all within that same year from what I
But I
remember,
mean,
right?
we see the end of the movie is the end of the war. So
Yeah,
when the
true.
war ends, is that's when the movie was.
Yeah, that's true. No, 100%.
Um, okay, another one is not long after this scene, we see the German general and
Hmm.
his like secondhand guy, and they're eating at this massive table,
Oh yeah,
drinking wine, and like they show a few shots of the like plates with half the food still on it, like that they're
yeah,
just again showing that these guys are up top, and this guy's like a super villain for the movie, right?
yeah,
He's the one guy is like, no, I'm fighting to the death. My orders are war, and I'm gonna fight until I can't anymore. Which that like I get it, that one I get. But then when it's like okay, at 11 o'clock, it's gonna be an armistice, and then you send them out at 10:45,
yeah.
kill
No,
that
it's
guy.
crazy.
Evil.
Yeah, no,
That's evil.
no, no. It really is. That's absolutely crazy. And apparently that wasn't shown as much in like the original movie, which I saw. Like
Mm,
they didn't have that emphasis on the movie, and I guess he felt like it needs to be displayed that that there was a guy pushing these guys to go even when it was not necessary. Because maybe it was
that,
just they just did it in the movie, and then there was no actual person telling them. So like they like to show the face a little bit of the person.
yeah, that's insane. And then because you have they see they show everyone's reaction to it, right? They're like,
Yeah.
there's even a couple guys like, what? I'm not going out there. I'm not going to fight again. And then they just execute them, and
Yes.
everyone else like, oh, okay, yeah,
Yeah.
I guess we gotta go.
No,
And then
it's
again, just the useless bloodshed. I think that was just the overarching theme of the movie is apparent, very apparent in that scene.
100%. And like that contrast, like just constantly. I thought that was interesting contrast, especially the exact cuts of like when they're you show them like struggling or being starving and then have them cut right to the dinners or
Yep.
whatever it is. Or even like the French, I think it was the French general who was just like the guy who gave him a croissant, he's complaining about it because it wasn't good. As like we see the contrast of them just like wanting to eat anything.
Yeah. See, I think that's I didn't even take it that in from that moment that like they have it so good that he's like, oh, this isn't even fresh. I don't want it.
Mm,
Whereas they would just eat it, scarf it down in 1 second. But I did have that as a note because to me, what I got from it was that because right after he says it's not fresh, he brings the plate out onto the table.
mm,
And this is what he's serving, I guess, to the German negotiators,
yeah.
right? They come in, so and throughout the whole time, he's like, "These are the terms, non-negotiable." And they're like, "Okay, well, like, what about this?" He's like, "Nope, nope,
Mm,
nope." And they're like, "Come on, like, be fair. You want to talk about fair?" Like, he hates these guys. So to me, it
yeah.
was more pushing that, like, "Oh, these ones aren't fresh. This is what we'll give to the Germans."
Yeah, that's funny. I didn't even take that in. I was just
I
thinking
think we're
about the
both
food.
right,
Yeah, no,
honestly.
I think you are right. I was just thinking about the food contrast, but like, yeah, that's some heavy level petty stuff.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
What else do I? Oh, when they see the girls like crossing the farm or whatever,
Mhm.
all the guys are hanging out.
Yeah.
they're just sitting on this massive pile of potatoes and onions. They're peeling the potatoes. So again, they're like, this is all these guys are eating.
Yeah.
They just get potatoes, onions,
Mm-hmm.
and then the stealing food from the farmer that you said. And I think another moment of that is actually important to the story and these characters in the sense that when they steal the goose for the first time, because they go twice.
Yeah.
When they go for the first time and they get the goose and they bring it back and they cook it up, we get one of the classic. This is a war movie like classic, a moment of like brotherhood and joy.
Mm-hmm.
So they cook up the goose. They're all having a good time. They're joking around, laughing, hiding it from everybody else. And this is, I think, one of those things that show like, yes, war is terrible, but this is one of the things about war. And I've never been to war, so I can't say based on experience, but like
Mm-hmm.
you get this sense of brotherhood from everybody around you just because you're literally fighting to the death with these guys.
Oh no, 100%. And like again, I'm definitely not comparing this to sport or anything like that. But I think there's that like you understand that bonding aspect of just like being around a bunch of guys. Like if you go on like a road trip or something, like you're on a football team and you travel somewhere, you're all on a bus, you travel to a place. Just from that small thing, you understand that bond. So like on a much obviously more extreme and larger scale, you could completely get why that bond would be so strong when you're going to war and you guys are dying. You know what I mean? Like it's so, and that's something I've noticed from a lot of war films. And like I made a note about that too. It's just like the small moments of happiness and bonding on like the littlest things. Like when they cook that goose and like, so you notice the shift, like the tone of the movie changes. Suddenly like the score changes. It's a little more upbeat. They're joking, they're laughing, they're dancing. It's like, that's something that I've seen in a lot of war movies, and also I just feel like it's an important aspect to like really show. It's like, yeah, these guys, like they would die for each other, and they do die for each other.
They do, yeah, exactly, yeah, 100%. See, I think another moment of that is again tied to more food is when they go the second time and he steals the eggs, and then they come back. He's like, "Oh, the eggs are breaking," and he's like, "Okay, put it in here," and they eat it, and then he eats it raw. Which, by the way, I had a point on this somewhere. Okay, so they steal the eggs.
Yeah.
The cat puts the raw eggs in a tin.
Yeah.
Stirs them up, eats them. He says, "Doesn't get any better than that." Yeah, it does. Those are raw. You're drinking raw eggs. It gets way better than that.
I guess they're starving, so
Yes,
I'll give it.
it's that,
I think
but-
anything would be better than that. Like they've been eating bugs, and they've been like, doesn't get better than that. Like,
It
but
does.
yeah, no,
It
it
gets better
does,
than that.
100%. Because their idea was to cook them. They weren't going to eat them raw.
I
So
would
it
assume, yeah.
yeah. So it does get better than that.
Yeah.
And like
Who's
I know
lying?
it took some work, but they had matches and stuff like that. Just the winter.
Oh,
Maybe
for sure.
they could start a fire or something. It's a lot of
Absolutely.
work when you're hungry. You probably don't want to wait that long. You just do the fastest way to eat it.
Well, if that were no, I think like you said, I think they meant they were going to cook them.
No, I do. I agree with you. With him saying that line doesn't get better, I was like, that looked pretty gross. I think it does get better than eating egg that's dripping out of your boy's pocket.
True. It was not only is it raw, it went through your boy's pocket who's been fighting to the death in mud and trenches, so it's dirty. It gets better than that, Cat. I mean, I get you've been down in the fucking mud. You've been at war for I don't know how long. They never say how long he's been
Yeah,
there.
they never
but
say, but
it gets better than that, bro.
it does get better than that. We do know he's been in it for a while too. Just the little subtle hints of him, like when they're in the bombing scene, he says like it will pass, like it always does, kind of thing. So he's been in that situation a lot. So you just assume he's been there for a while.
That was a crazy scene. I want to come back to how long Cat's been there, but that scene when this is the first time that because our gang pulls up, they're all fresh newbies, right? They're all like, yeah, we're gonna go to war, we're gonna fight the French, we're gonna storm Paris, it's gonna be great. And then in that scene, one of the is that Albert? I'm just not even gonna try with names, but like the one with the glasses where he's like, no, I can't do this, I want to go home. Like he starts freaking out. And then there's the other guy that's even like, I'm going out there.
Yeah.
He's like, I got to get out of here. Like he's committing suicide, steps out, immediately blown to bits. Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
that was crazy.
That shocked the hell out of me. I did not expect that. Part of me was like, I was with him to a certain extent, but I was also thinking like, why would it be better out there? There
Well,
is
I
no
think it's literally I don't want to live here and go through this. I just want to get blown up. I think what
yeah.
happened is what he wanted.
No, for sure. That was a pretty powerful scene. I mean, I don't know if that's 100% what he wanted because like do we know that he died instantly? Like he
Are
could have
you kidding
been.
me? How could he survive? He's dead.
There's the horrible offset chance that like maybe he was just like in pieces and slowly was
Was he
just
Boo? Was he
I don't
Majin
know,
Buu?
man.
Like
I don't know,
he's
man.
dead, bro.
But no, that was another powerful scene too. That was another. I made a point of that. Just like yeah, Paul just screaming. No, no, not Paul. It was the glasses guy saying like I can't do this, Paul. Like I want to go home.
Mhm.
Like I'm all just freaking out. And it was kind of like what's it called? And then that's when we get the gathering, right? And that was like the great foreshadowing like for later. Because at first it's like you kind of know about the dog tags thing, but I've never seen the actual like the little snap thing.
Yeah, and I looked that up, and that's actually what they did. The Germans, that's what they did. It because
Okay.
apparently it uses less metal than like dog tags,
Okay.
two
Yeah.
individual dog tags, or maybe it's
Mhm.
just easier to print like stamp one versus stamping two things. But basically, they said
Yeah.
it's just more efficient. So yeah, that's real.
Yeah, no, and then even just then we get the actual explosions where like this goes to like your plot armor thing, right? Like Paul gets buried in the ashes and like
Mm.
the other guy beside him dies, but he's completely fine actually, like not
I
even like
know.
a broken bone or anything, just
Nothing.
like not no limp for the rest of the movie. He's just a little dirty,
Just some dirt on
but
his face. Yeah.
yeah, just some dirt on his face, and we get the reveal of him like him stepping on his friend's glasses and then finding him. That was a pretty rough scene because like
Hmm.
they held on his face for a long time for him to like really look at his face, and he's just crying as he's trying to get the tag off.
Yeah, exactly. The guy. Yeah, and then there's someone that like shouts from off camera, just like, "All right, you got to keep it moving." And like that's again that's real. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
your friend just died, and that's sad, but we're at war. Like, you gotta keep going. So,
Yeah.
Cat. And another thing about Cat, like how long he was been there was the scene with his wife, or not his wife, like the note that his wife
Oh
sent
yeah.
him.
Hmm.
What did you think of that scene?
Oh yeah. I wrote it as like the reading letter toilet scene, but
There you go. Yeah, why did they
yeah.
have to do that? Why did they
I
have to
don't
be on the toilet?
I don't know why they had to be on the toilet. I guess it's just a different scenery. I guess just to show this is how another layer of
Right.
like this is how they have to use the bathroom.
Yeah, I
It's
like that. That's in again like just a nugget of like the history, be like just to show the authenticity. Okay, this is by the way, this is how these guys use the bathroom. But like this is one of your most emotional scenes in the movie. Is this the time to do that?
yeah,
They have to. There's like a 4 minute long take of this guy reading the letter, and the emotions are going up and down. Like it starts with the, oh, we got his wife is sending food. This is going to be great. And then we've learned that his son died, and all this sadness. And then she's like, you've been there a while. How much money do you have? See, this is why I brought it up because like
yeah.
obviously Kat's been there a while. She's
Mhm.
asking like, oh, you've been there a while. How much money have you saved up? Can you send some home?
Yeah.
Again, showing how just bad it was in Germany and for the Germans.
Mhm.
So you have all this emotion going on in the scene, and these guys just have their pants at their ankles. Like, why?
Yeah, I know.
Why?
At least in to their credit, like they kept it above like the
True.
hips. So
Yeah.
it wasn't like we were seeing them read the leather and you just like saw the distance of like ankles at the ground and they're being emotional. Like it stayed
Yeah.
up top. For the most part, it was even like shoulders up as he was reading the letter and they're getting emotional. And there was no like plops or grunting or anything. You know what I
That
mean?
would have been crazy.
like they didn't lean too much into the what they're actually doing.
Oh, so then I think I might go to the grave of your son. That would be insane.
That's what I'm saying. Like they didn't lean too much into what was going on to the fact that like if someone walked in the room and you walked into that scene, you wouldn't know until the end basically
That's
that
true.
oh they were shitting that whole time. That's interesting that they had that scene there.
Yeah.
But no, I thought it was a really emotional scene, and again, it's another adding element of that layer of just like the notes from home and just like how they're dealing with that. And I thought it had an interesting line too, just talking about like how weird it's going to be to go back,
Mm,
like in the sense of like they want us to come back and they want to hear about the war stories and all those things, but it's just like for those guys like they don't even want to talk about it
yeah.
because everyone back home thinks that they don't I mean they don't know what the war is really, they don't know what to
Yeah.
expect, so they're kind of curious things like oh you get to like fight for the country, whatever it is, like it's probably cool maybe to a certain extent. The people that just don't know, and them they kind of want to just forget about it.
That's actually one of the difference that I read from the book and the movie.
Hmm.
Is in the book, there's a section of the book where Paul gets like a leave of absence and he goes home.
Oh, okay.
Like he visits back at home, and basically it kind of shows that like he just can't reintegrate to normal life,
Hmm.
normal city life outside of the front line because of everything he's going through in war, and then he goes back. So that's I guess like a little way that they work that in, like you're saying, which is a good point. But that in the book, it's like a whole different sequence of Paul going home.
That's tough. I feel like that's tough to work that into the movie.
It would just be way longer.
Yeah, I guess so. But I mean, the runtime of the original movie and this movie, the exact, like basically the exact same. So I wonder if that original movie had that element in there.
Yeah, I don't know. But also one difference between this and the book is the whole all the scenes of them negotiating the armistice, like all the scenes on the train with the German negotiator and the French general and all those politicians or whatever. That's not none of that is in the book.
Yeah, I did see that too. Actually, I saw that like all the political stuff was kind of just like washed out of it. It was just like
Yeah,
mainly focused on the just war aspect.
which makes sense if the guy was on the front lines, came back
Yeah,
and wrote the story from that point of view, he wouldn't even know about all the
yeah.
negotiations and the armistice. So it makes sense. So I guess if you wanted to be more authentic to the book, you would cut that and then add the Paul going home stuff.
Hmm. I wonder why he felt like he needed to add that in there, like just to make it different. I guess also
Well,
just
did you like
butcher.
it? What did you think of the whole that side?
I think it worked as a good contrast
Okay.
because again, I'm going off the comparison of like not reading the original book or reading the original book
Watching
or
the
seeing
original
the original
movie.
movie. So like
Yeah.
I can't be like, oh, that didn't work for me because like, well, let me go. I probably have to go back and watch and see like, oh, is it better or worse
Hmm.
to have that in there or not? Because to me, it worked because I didn't know any other. I just assumed that yeah, you should probably show both sides just so you can kind of get it works as a good contrast.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that it was in there. Again, I think it really pushes home the. I mean, his whole thing. I'm saying I'm talking about
Paul. Oh,
Erzberger,
okay.
which
Yeah.
is Daniel Bruhl's character, the German negotiator.
Yeah.
His whole thing is like, we got to end this war as fast as possible.
Yeah.
Like, here are the terms. Yeah, maybe I'll try and like negotiate a little bit, but like I'm signing this. And then there's the I don't know if it's a general. It's clearly an army person because he's in
Yeah.
uniform that's there with them, and he's like, I'm not signing this. It's gonna put our country in ruin. It's gonna be terrible. And he's like, we're gonna lose the war anyway. This will save thousands, maybe millions of lives, and like that's his whole motivation as a character is ending the war, saving lives. So I think it more pushes that theme of just useless bloodshed,
Yeah. No, 100%.
which I liked. I think something I read about the armistice agreement in real life was that it was actually signed on a train, like it was in the
Okay.
movie. The carriage that it was signed on after the war was preserved and displayed in Paris
Hmm.
until World War II, when the Nazis captured it, destroyed it, and then a replica was built in the 1950s, and the scene of them signing the armistice was filmed in that replica.
Oh, it's really.
Yeah. So apparently that's like exactly kind of what it looked like when they got the job done.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't realize that. I didn't see that anywhere. That is really cool.
Yeah. I mean, it's what I read online, so it could be complete
Yeah.
BS, but
Well, let's
I believe
believe it's
it.
real. Yeah,
I
let's believe
believe
it's
it.
real. Yeah, let's believe it's real. Oh, I'm curious what you thought about the because we're talking about like the food like disparate like the changes or
Mm.
differences. But what was your thoughts when you saw like the when the tanks came through and the flamethrowers? Like, what do you think of that
Yeah,
aspect?
that stuff was insane. That the flamethrowers was crazy. Like when we
Mm,
saw one of the guys
yeah.
die by the flamethrower, like they're all running away, they're all retreating, and then he realizes he can't get out, gives himself up. He's like, no, 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 I surrender, I surrender. Immediately gets torched. I was like, damn, that was a powerful moment for one of our characters, main
No, for
guys.
sure. He was the one that like the that wanted to go to the girls, like when Franz actually did
Right.
it, and then he didn't go. And he's also the one that like he cut the poster
Yeah.
and like made that like his imaginary girlfriend, which that was yeah, it was tough to see that because seeing that kind of scene like makes you think of a couple things. Like one, it makes me think of just like how gruesome like certain measurements of like certain tools of war become, and then when like over time they say, you know what, that's a little too much. Like we're just trying to kill we're trying to kill each other here, but like we don't need to like torture. Like we don't need to come up with these new ways to torture people. It's just like it's just end the guy's life, whatever. We don't need to get creative with how we torture and kill the guy. And then it also makes me think of the other side of it, where it's just like when you get these moments of guys being like, that's just another guy. Like when you get like the 1-to-1 combat, it's just like, yeah, sure, he's the enemy because he's from another country, but like this is just another guy.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of makes you think it's like, I know you're at war, but like to light a guy on fire versus just shoot a guy, it just feels. I wonder how that dude, like, you just wonder how that guy's psyche feels about it. It's just like I lit a dude on fire versus I just shot a guy, still killing a guy, but like you got to one dude was just out like a light, and the other guy you're hearing him scream to death from being, and they still shot him too.
True.
As he was on fire, they still end up shooting him.
But what I would say is, I think that is another one of those marks of how war changes you as a person. Like you just become so desensitized to this stuff. Like people are just dying all around you.
Yeah.
And yes, you're right. Most of the time, it's not them like yelling and screaming and burning, but like if you go near the medical tent, I'm sure you hear guys screaming. Like there was even one where they had to cut a guy's arm off, and they don't have any freezing or like gas or anything to knock him out. So there's just a whole bunch of people holding him down, and this guy's yelling and screaming. So I feel like that stuff is just so normal that like it doesn't even feel that crazy to light a dude on fire.
Oh no, 100%. It's just something that made me think about it in that moment of just like thinking about just like the brutality, and then also just like that dude's gonna have to like just live with that. Like I don't think they're specifically like locked on the guy that did it, but I was just thinking on that moment of just like, yeah, like there's one thing. I was the guy that shot a guy. I was the guy that shot a tank that bombed, and it's like I lit a dude on fire. It's just like there's all these little psychological things that you think about with like these guys, especially because you see what Paul goes through. So then immediately you just put yourself in the position of all those other guys. I'm sure they all have had that kind of moment. You're locked in, like Paul was at moments, but then certain moments were just like, oh, that's just a guy. Like that's crazy that I had to do that to just say,
yeah, it's like
guy.
in the heat of the moment, you kind of, because it's life or death, you got to fight. It's either him or me, like in these situations. But when the fight's over and you have a moment to pause and reflect, that's when, and that's exactly what happens with Paul. He's stuck in the crater because this happens right after that.
Yeah.
Kills the guy. Well, like stabs him in the chest like 6 times. How did he? Is that? There's no way you wouldn't die right away. I don't think you could. If you get stabbed that many times, I feel like you would die pretty quick. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not a doctor, but yeah, and then he stabs him a bunch of times. He hears him like bleeding up, and he's like, "Shut up, shut up, shut up!" Like he's freaking out because he hears him dying and he feels bad about it. And like, if you want to finish him off, like maybe slit his throat, or like, I feel like there's a better way to do it. He just like stuffs mud into his mouth.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is just disrespectful. Like, what are you even doing? And then he crawls away, comes back. Like this whole scene, it was a little. It really pushed that point home of like, this is just a normal guy, but it was a little much for me.
Yeah, no, it was rough. It was, to me, it was just interesting just to see like the levels of complexity of the scene. Like I know where you mean it was a little rough, but he just went it was a lot, but there's just so many emotions that he went through, like just in that small moment of him just like, obviously it's a life or death kind of thing, and then it's like him freaking out because what's happening to him, and like what, and then just really, it's kind of like a moment of reflection, right? Like everything's go go go. In this moment, he's stuck, so all he can really do is just be stuck with this guy as he's just in agonizing pain, and then suddenly he kind of snaps out of that like go 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 mode. But I do agree it was dramatic, but but it definitely pushed the point across that it was trying to push.
Yeah, and I think it was, if it was a little less dramatic, I think it would hit even harder for me, because like that kind of stuff, when it's so dramatic like that, takes me a little bit out of the movie. And again, this stuff is real. This stuff actually happens. World War I actually happened. You know, this book was written based on real life experience.
Yeah.
So when it's overly juiced like that, it takes me a little bit out of it, and it makes me feel a little bit less about what they're trying to make me feel, because it reminds me that this is a movie and these are characters and that guy's not actually dead. Whereas like when you ground it a little bit more, then I'm like, damn, that guy was really freaking dying, and this guy killed him because he had to, and then realized what he actually did. Like, he's not just a dog tag to strip off. That's a real human being. You know, he tried to save him for a minute, and then sees that he's a husband, a father, all this stuff. And I think it could have been done a little bit better.
Yeah, no, I think that kind of stuff, when it's like an epic type film, I just as like I'm just thinking as like for in movie sakes of just them making this for the viewer. I wonder if they feel like they just have to do that just for the masses, like, you know, just to really
Mm.
put the stamp on it, just like for everybody, like it's just like as a this is a movie. It's obviously a mature audience, but for everyone. So it's like we really got to take this whole thing of like, hey, this was a guy, you know what I mean? Like he's got to go through all the papers and stuff like that, because I don't know if that would something like that would even happen, right? Like, would you really go through a guy's
Right.
whole
Probably
wallet
not.
like that? Probably not. But it's just to really emphasize that point.
Yeah. That's fair. I mean, I think the scene structure was really good. Like everything that he did was like, you're right. He probably wouldn't take out the pictures and look at that, but I don't mind that. I guess maybe what I didn't like the most was just kind of how long it was.
Yeah.
Maybe that's where I'm just kind of being reminded, like, okay, this is a movie. Like, but at the same time, you wouldn't process those emotions like just like snap of a finger. It would take time to, like, you're in the mindset of like, I have to murder this person,
Yeah.
and then you have to come down off of that, which takes time. I don't know.
No,
It's just my
I do see your
thoughts
point.
circulating.
I see your point as like if you were like as just someone that you get it, you know what I mean? Like you're watching it, you get what's
Mm,
wrong in this scene. But I think you kind of even explained it why it kind of needs to be that long, because all these different emotions, they couldn't do that in like 5 minutes. Because then it'd be like,
yeah.
really, this guy felt all that in those quick seconds. Like he killed the guy, now he's upset. Now he wants him to shut up. Now he's like empathizing with them. Like it kind of has to be dragged out to a certain extent. I
True.
don't know if what the happy medium is. You know what I mean?
No, you're right. And I mean, these are just like this is the note that I have,
Yeah.
and it's my immediate thoughts after watching the movie. And as we discuss it, sometimes my thoughts change, and like this is what we do. This is why another reason why we have the podcast, right? We
Yeah.
just talk about it, and like this is my initial thoughts, but as we discuss it, you give me your opinions, and like it's true. Everything in there like makes sense. I guess the timing does make sense, and honestly, I'm gonna watch this movie again.
Hmm.
And I mean, like I said, I liked it. There was a few moments that I didn't like, but
Yeah.
maybe a few of those points I'll kind of look with a different kind of eye, because I think there was some stuff that's like, this was very clearly like they're an Oscar movie. I want to say, like it's going to
Yeah.
it's debuting at a film festival. It's a very artsy kind of
Yeah.
style to it. There's a lot of long takes and scenic shots and stuff like that. It even starts with like these foxes in a hole. Like, I don't know if that's supposed to mean
Yeah.
something, but like there's all this
Mhm.
artsy stuff around it, and I guess that fits with the tone of like the dramatic style. But
Yeah.
that's the kind of stuff that like takes me a little bit out of like the emotion of what I feel like the war itself would already be displaying. You know what I mean? Like, because I'm already
Yeah.
going in knowing like this whole situation is sad. I
Yeah.
feel like it doesn't need to be pushed so far in front of my face.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just kind of thinking out loud. What do you think
No,
about
no,
that?
I agree with what you're saying, especially like with these type of movies when you make it on such a big scale, and like I can imagine it was a pretty big budget too, and like Netflix paid for it, so I don't know. Sometimes they don't put how much they spend on their things,
Uh,
but I can imagine it was a big budget. I feel like they try to make it grandiose in that sense of like, we're not making like a small indie film. This is a big production, so we're gonna try to make it large. It's gonna be 2 hours and a half. You know what I mean? Anything or usually over 2 hours and a half ends up being like some kind of epic type film. Would you make it big, like it's large scale, it's big budget. And that was another point I even had. Like I didn't even say in our general thoughts. Like the movie was beautiful for
oh yeah,
something that's so tragic. Like it was shot like absolutely gorgeous. Like it was. I don't think I did. I saw it won a couple Oscars. I don't think it won for cinematography, but
it
like
did. I'm
it did win
almost certain it
cinematography.
did. Let me
Like I'm
double
sure it
check
won.
that.
I don't know if it was an Oscar, but some award show must have given it a nod for its cinematography, because yeah, it was shot beautifully, which is always like when people get like people have like their big like bag on that where it's just like it's supposed to be like a tragic thing, but you're making it look kind of like pretty and stuff like that. But
Yeah, maybe that's maybe what's going in through my head. But I don't know. But the other war movies do the same thing.
yeah,
So I don't know. I don't know. It's fun to discuss this.
yeah, 100%.
So I'm looking at
The budget,
the budget
or
was 20 million,
okay, oh, it's pretty
and I'm
modest
looking at
budget.
that's actually not that crazy.
Yeah,
I mean, there isn't any like massive. I guess Daniel Bruhl is the biggest name. But
yeah.
he's a small role.
I just would
So
imagine just based off everything we saw, I feel like building those
right.
sets would just be
Yes.
expensive.
You're probably right, but I think they could probably reuse most of the sets for like each battle was probably in the same set,
Yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah,
but they're still like blowing stuff up and.
that's what I
You know,
mean.
I
That's
mean,
why
20 million is a lot of money.
it is a
Like,
lot
it
of
doesn't
money.
sound like a lot because based on movie budgets, but that's a
Yeah,
lot
there's
of
no
freaking
CGI.
money.
Yeah, there's no CGI. CGI is the thing that puts up
True.
budgets nowadays.
True.
Everything I think was real and practical. I think in this movie.
Okay, and I'm looking at the Oscars, so it won Best International Feature.
Okay,
It
yeah,
won Best Original Score,
yeah.
Best Production Design,
Mm-hmm.
and it did win Best Cinematography.
Okay, damn. Took everything. Well, not everything, but it took
Everything. That's
four
all
is
you-
a lot. No, four is a lot.
Absolutely,
That's
absolutely.
crazy. No, it makes me think of like 1917. Like it's like that same kind of vibe in the sense of just like the cinematography just being such a big emphasis of the movie. Like you can't not
Yeah.
talk about it. Like
True.
how it looked. Like it was just like breathtaking.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, long takes, a lot of like moving shots, close-ups.
Yeah.
And I mean, even just with all the like explosions and stuff and like fight scenes down in the trenches, all that stuff is, I'm sure, very difficult to do.
Mm-hmm.
And they made it look great. So
Just
kudos
even
to them.
Paul dying too. Like we're talking about just
Mm.
being dramatic.
That's
Like
a long
him,
take.
like him stepping out and you just get the reveal of his face with the dirt and him just walking. Like that's very dramatic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like slowly walking to his death. Like he could have just died down there if he
Yeah.
wanted to really do that. He could have just died down there and the dude could have found him down there. But they had to have him come up. Which again, this isn't a knock. I'm just almost like just playing on the fact of just how dramatic it gets. Where having him do the dramatic walk up from the steps.
And not only that, the setting itself, right? He's in this dark cave dying by himself, and it's a staircase that's just beaming light through. Like,
Yeah.
how on the nose could you get for
Yeah.
like he's walking up to heaven, or
No,
you know what I mean?
100%.
Like, I don't know.
No,
It's a
100.
little-
And again, not even a knock. It's almost like I'm just poking.
to me, it's
fun
a
at
little
just-
bit of a knock.
It's a little bit of a knock. That's fair.
Because,
Well-
like I said, like I know I'm supposed to be sad about this.
Yeah.
You don't have to throw it in my face. And again, he gets stabbed in the heart, and he
Yeah.
walks for like 10 minutes up these
Yeah.
stairs and stuff. Of like, does stabbing in the heart mean nothing in this movie? Like,
Yeah.
I feel like that's an instant death. No.
No, that's fair. I mean, another death I do want to talk about is the Franz thing. Just to not parlay, but I guess parlay. You can say parlay to
Sure.
like Franz's
Segue.
Yeah, segue. Him stabbing himself in the neck.
Oh,
I
to
don't-
Jordan, you're
Yeah.
talking
Oh yeah,
about.
to Jordan.
Different guy.
Was it to Jordan? I thought to
I'm-
Jordan.
I'm almost certain that was to Jordan.
I almost want to put my foot down. I'm pretty sure to Jordan.
See, but how do we even check? Like, I'm looking at the cast. I don't know. Okay, wait. I can maybe find this. Hold up.
I swear I was right. Okay, yeah, I swear to Jordan was the one that did the stabbing. I know Franz was the one that went to the girls.
Okay.
I'm confident on that. Paul, obviously, we know Paul. We know Paul.
Yeah. We know Kat.
To Jordan, yeah, and then to Jordan.
To Jordan, knowing his leg will be amputated, fatally stabs himself.
Also, okay, so
This is what
to Jordan.
Wikipedia says.
Okay, all right, so then it's to Jordan that did the stabbing.
But yeah, that was crazy. And the biggest thing for me, I was like, because we just watched Weapons, I was like, oh,
That's 100% what I was thinking of. I wrote that down and I had that in brackets. Weapons.
yeah, it's the exact same thing. Maybe Zach Kreger watched this movie and was like, oh, there's an idea.
My thing with this though is like, I thought it was really dramatic. Not dramatic, sorry, like really powerful. Because now we're saying dramatic, and now it's almost
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a bad thing. So I want to use a different word. I think it was actually really powerful because we were talking about like people getting like their arms like cut off and stuff like
Mm.
there's no anesthesia or anything like that, and him saying like I won't let them amputate me. You know what I mean? Like I don't want them to take that away from me. And I was like, oh, I thought that was really powerful because he's thinking of like I'll be like less than, like I'm going back without a limb kind of thing. But then part of me thought it was crazy, like, but you're gonna stab yourself in the neck to die.
That was crazy.
I was
When
like
he just like
that.
looks at the fork, I was like, is he gonna kill himself? And then he just goes, bah, bah, bah. I was like, yo, this is insane. Because what he was asking Paul before, he was like, oh, how far? Like he was is very clear, very intentional. He's like, how far was I shot above my knee?
Yeah,
It's above my knee. Where? How far up my knee was it? And Paul looks, and it's like at his knee and
yeah,
below. So I guess it's showing that like maybe the infection or whatever is like going up his leg. I don't know exactly how it works,
yeah.
but and then he's just he does that. That was insane.
I just feel like I don't know, like you can't obviously understand the psyche of what's going on in that guy's mind, stuff like that. And it's very shocking death, very upsetting death. But to me, I'm just like, dog, you wouldn't want to do like a just like a pop, like a gunshot to the head or something.
Well, he didn't
Like
have a gun on.
no, but I mean, like you don't want to get amputated for probably a bunch of different reasons, but getting like a stabbing in the neck, because that's not an instant thing. You're stabbing yourself in the neck, you're feeling all that pain, and then you just gotta bleed out.
Now that I think about it, he died pretty quick. I feel like because they were like right, they like try to put pressure on the wound. They're like, help, help, we need help, and he's like, he's dead.
Yeah.
But Paul can stab a guy 6 times in the heart, and he guy gonna die for 15 minutes. What the hell?
Yeah, you're not letting that one go.
I'm not. I'm really not. Bro.
I see you erasing over there your lazy award for the writing of the for the
No, what is my lazy word? No, I got a good one.
Okay,
It's different. I got
all
a good
right,
one.
all right. But no, that is a good point. That is a very good point. I think he was already pretty much gone. Like he looked pretty pale at that point.
That's
Like
fair.
it seemed
That's
like he
fair.
was already going anyway. That was the part of me where I was like, I didn't. It was so shocking to me. I was like, at that point, I was like, oh, this dude's done. Like
Yeah.
he's not gonna make it another night. And then that happened. I was like, okay, he's like, yeah, he's gone. But yeah, I think he was already close anyway. And maybe he felt that. He's like, let's just end this. But the thing is, like, it didn't feel like a let's end this quickly. That's not an endless end this quickly kind of death.
Well, how else would he do it with what he has? Maybe he has a knife on him. I would
I don't
assume.
know, man. I don't know. And again, it's a
Yeah.
scene that's gonna stick with me. This and weapons are gonna be forever linked to me, just based off the
I
timing
know,
of me
right?
seeing these movies. But
Exactly.
no, that was and then the aftermath of it when I guess so it was not to that was to Jordan.
Yeah.
So then the aftermath, the 2 last guys then, because now I'm all messed up. Who was he with then? That's not Franz, because Franz is the
So who is who with Paul?
yeah. Who's Paul with? Is just the 2 guys left
When?
now?
To
Like
Paul?
when they go to steal the eggs.
Oh, well,
Who's
that's
with them?
Cat.
Okay, that's Cat. Okay, so the
That's Cat.
aftermath with Cat and Paul when they're sitting there and Paul's obviously upset, listing up all the people that died, and Cat stops and he says like, "Hey, they're at peace. We're all still alive." Like I thought that was a pretty powerful moment, and they kind of let us sit in that too. I don't know how you felt with the aftermath.
Almost like Cat's envious of them.
Yeah,
Like they're at peace. We're still in this shit.
yeah, no, 100%.
Interesting. Yeah. I
I
didn't
thought
think
it
of it
was.
like that, but I like that.
I just thought it was like there's usually an aftermath scene with like all the traumatic things that are happening. I thought that one was really interesting too because I was like I don't know where they go from this. Like what are they gonna say to each other? Because when they were just sitting in that room together and Kat's like trying to offer him like alcohol, like hey, it's gonna help probably just physically and mentally, just to sip of this. But Paul wasn't having any of it. And then yeah, he said that line. I thought that was really a really powerful line.
Interesting. Yeah. I want to talk about the start of this movie a little bit more.
Yeah.
Was just that they start showing us that this isn't fun right
Yeah.
away. Like it's the contrast of Paul and all of his friends when they're in Germany right at the start of the movie. They're like, "Oh, you guys got on the list. You're going to the war. Oh, well, I'm going too. I'm not going to be the only one here." And then we get the speech. The guy fires them up. They're all excited when they're going to like we don't really see them train, but like they get their uniform and they're kind of like getting ready to go, I guess.
Mhm.
And they're like, "Man, this is going to be great. Like we're so excited." And then us as the audience, they show us right away like, "No, this is an anti-war movie. War sucks."
Yeah.
And here's why. So when he gets his uniform, and then he says, "Oh, there's another name in this. I think you gave this to the wrong person." The guy's like, "Oh no, it must have been too small for him." Lies to him and rips off the name tag, and then it drops. And then we get that shot of there's like 12 name tags on the ground
Yeah.
of like he does this all the time. He's just lying to people. It's funny. Have you seen Conclave?
Yeah, yeah. It's the
So
same
that's
director too, right?
exactly the same
Yeah.
director. So there's a shot in that movie. This doesn't spoil anything if you haven't seen Conclave, of a whole bunch of like cigarette butts on the ground,
Mm,
and it's like the camera's sitting on the ground looking out into like a cathedral. And this was the same thing. It's like the camera sitting on the ground. We see all the tags looking
mm.
back on the lineup of soldiers. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, no, that was a really interesting point too. And it's funny, I remember, but I actually make a point of it. But that was like, yeah, I thought that was an interesting point too. And just like that, again, it goes with the contrast of this movie tells you right off the bat. If you don't know what kind of movie you're getting into, you
Mm.
just see like the joy and the gleefulness of like them being excited to go to war, and you're just like, okay, well, they're in for awakening
Yeah.
based off of what we're gonna see.
And like the very, very start of this movie, like the cold start, I guess, is like a whole assembly line of like the process of stocking bodies. They
Yeah,
take the clothes off of them. They bring them home. They're just dropping bags of clothes. They wash them. We see all these clothes hanging in this big warehouse, dripping blood. And then there's like a whole building full of seamstresses just sewing patches on top of bullet holes and stuff like that, just showing like the German machine of
yeah,
war, and just like how normal it is for all of these people to die. It's like the story that we're about to go through is is not exceptional. This is
yeah.
happening all the time.
No, 100%. Yeah, no, it's a very powerful start. It's a good, interesting technique to do like the cold open and then kind of flip it, and it just yeah, it really sets the ground of what you're about to watch, and really sets the table if you don't know what you're getting into. That like this is what the movie is, and like yeah, it's like you said, the whole factory machine thing of just like all right, next kind of thing. It was
Yeah.
like these are people.
Yeah.
This isn't like a company and it's like next shoe. Like okay, that shoe's I bring in a new shoe. Let's fix up the next. Like it's not clothing. Like these are people, and that's how it's being treated. Like it's just like it's Adidas
Yeah.
to go
Yeah.
bring in
Good
another
point.
German company.
I got Is Adidas German?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
Oh,
Yeah,
no, I didn't.
Adidas is German.
Oh, okay. Look, we're learning a lot here on the Filmings podcast. I got a couple more. The whole gas mask thing.
Oh yeah, it's a good one.
So they get there. There's that bomb that goes off, and they're like, "Get your gas mask on." Paul takes him forever, and the captain or whoever is
General,
leading
yeah.
them says the general expects you to survive 6 weeks. You will almost certainly be dead by dawn.
Yeah, that's
God
wild.
damn,
Yeah, that's
that
wild.
was tough.
That was wild. That's wild. Part of me was wondering too. Like I don't know. We were talking about plot armor. I don't know if how far Paul was gonna go. Like I don't know if they've ever done this. If like you feel like you're following a certain character, then he dies off, and then you kind of like shift to another character.
Mm,
But this movie wasn't. We stuck with Paul the whole time, so I didn't feel like we were bouncing between
yeah.
characters. But part of me actually didn't know. I was like, is Paul gonna die? Like I didn't know.
Damn, that's actually a very interesting idea.
So I
Should
guess you
write that
haven't.
one down.
So I guess you haven't seen that in a.
I've
war
never
movie.
seen that in a war movie.
All right, so
and
cut
there's-
this out of the cut this out of the podcast.
No, we have credit right now. We were gonna trademark this idea. We have the credit. It's in the recording. Dion came up with the idea, and I haven't seen every war movie ever.
Yeah.
Like it's very possible that this
No,
has
for sure.
happened, but like, yeah, you kind of go from person to person. You don't know when they're gonna die. Like that first one would definitely be like a huge flip. Like this is
Oh,
our
yeah.
main character, and then when they die, and then there's like an hour and a half left in the runtime, you're just like, what the hell? Where are we even going from here? That's a great idea.
All right. I don't know. Maybe we should take it out.
All
All right, whatever. Leave it. We'll leave. We'll leave. Like you said, it's the proof. We have our proof. We have our proof.
Yeah, we have our proof. We have our proof.
Yeah, we have our timestamp.
Okay, I got one more. Just even that the first night is
Mm-hmm.
when they get barraged. So Ray, he makes them. You're gonna keep that gas mask on all the way till we get to the base or whatever.
Yeah.
Which is crazy, by the way.
Yeah.
Could you imagine? Jesus, I imagine it's really hard to breathe out of that thing, and he
Oh,
looks
yeah.
like half dead by the time he gets there. Kudos to him, he does it.
No, for sure.
And then so he gets the night watch, so
Mhm.
he has to stay out on the night. Sticks his head out, almost gets his head taken off, and then the barrage comes down. First night, so they're
Yeah.
like, "No, the war is hell." Like these guys were all excited for this, and then the very first night is when Albert, I think, is like crying, saying, "I want my mom. I want to go home."
Yeah. Yeah. No, which is it's tough. I mean, these guys immediately got the culture shock of like this isn't what we thought it was going to be. Like I'm
Yeah.
like I don't know what they thought it was. I guess because they're just like they're promised the idea of like what you're doing is noble. It's a heroic
Mhm.
thing, and like you just assume that it's all gonna be good for you, like on your end. You know what I mean? You don't imagine they're not thinking about the struggles, not thinking about the people around them dying because again they're young and they're naive, right? They've only been taught like fed the propaganda that's been fed to them, so
Yeah, exactly.
they don't know any better.
Okay, I have to ask you this. I'm excited to ask you
Okay,
this.
all right,
So the guy goes and talks to the girls.
okay, yeah.
The guy, I can say the guy. What was his name? That
Oh,
was Franz.
Franz. It was
That one was
Franz. Yeah,
Franz. He goes and talks to the girls. He pulls all three.
yeah. No, that's true.
Crazy.
That is crazy.
They're all like pissed at him.
Yeah,
I
I know.
They're all like, "Oh man, like where's he going?" I'm like, "You're not happy for your guy? What are you talking about? He just went cold called 3 girls and left with them. That's fantastic." And then he tells them the story and he says, "Her name was Eloise."
Yeah.
I need to know what your reaction was.
Eloise was watching it with me.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So we were sitting there, and then we looked up, and we were like, Eloise? I was just laughing. We just straight up, all I could do was just laugh. And it was more hilarious too because we just recently watched something. We were listening to they were breaking down, talking about another, like we're watching another movie podcast or something like that, and then her name was mentioned during that. So we're just like, damn, this is the second time we're watching something and your name is getting mentioned. But honestly, all I could do was laugh. This is hilarious. Like I'm like, of course, like
I know.
French names, the only French name that Eloise, we just looked at each other, we're just like, oh, all right, all right.
I wrote it down immediately. I was like, "Oh, that's amazing."
I wrote it down and I was thinking, I was like, oh, I can't wait to talk about this with Scott.
Because I mean, it's if her name was like Mary, then like is that just going to be in like 100 movies?
Yeah, exactly.
So it's just like an uncommon thing. I mean, you're right. Like I guess most of the time we're not talking about like French people, or we're not watching a ton of French movies with French characters. So in this case, it made sense, but it just made me laugh when as soon as he said it, I was like, oh, that's fantastic.
I know it's a pretty common French name though. As we do more things like foreign movies and French movies, I'm sure it's going to come up more often.
Yeah.
But it was hilarious that it came up in this because I was not
in the context too. Just like this is the guy that he pulled.
I know.
Tion, now you got to fight Franz, bro. He's stealing your girl.
And it's kind of funny too because like I don't always watch the podcast movies with her. So now I ask him like, hey, we're watching this movie. Do you want to watch this? And this one time, out of like, she's like, you know what? Yeah, I will watch it with you. And then that happens. I'm like, of course, this happens. Of course.
Okay, that was great.
No, they needed to be mentioned. That had to be mentioned during the podcast.
Yeah. Okay, my last like quick point, I guess, is the German general.
Yeah,
that guy is just. Did they base his fit off of Dr. Eggman?
I wrote that. Dang it! You know that was gonna be my final note, but we're here about it anyway.
Sorry.
You know when we do you have any final notes? And I'll be like, General looked like Eggman from Sonic.
So much.
And then I was like,
oh my God.
I thought I was tripping, to be honest. Like I thought when I saw it, I was like, he kind of was like, maybe Scott's not gonna see it. You said it 100%.
Oh my God! It's clear as day. They even made like he's wearing red. Like, did they know what they were? They had to know what they were doing.
That's what I'm saying. I need to go search that up, see interviews. I didn't actually look up because I was like, I don't know if it's gonna be a talking point in the podcast. I'm like, I'm not gonna put too much effort into researching this. I'm just gonna throw it out there. But yeah, 100%. 100%. Did the guy even really look like that, or is this a fictional? Is this like a? Is that just leaning into the fact this guy's evil? Let me just make it look like the guy from Sonic.
Right. Yeah, that's a good.
If the guy's actually real or not? Did he actually
whatever
look like
the general?
Did the creators of Sonic use him as inspiration? We're like, that guy sucked.
True.
That guy sucked.
Yeah, that guy was terrible. He's gonna be our villain. Let me see if I can find anything on this because I'm really curious. If I go to the cast, what was his General Fredericks?
Yeah, General Fredericks is what I wrote down.
Okay, let me Google.
If he's a real person.
Fredericks.
And while you do that, I'm gonna see if Sonic had any
images. I'm just getting images of him in this movie. I mean, from what I'm seeing, no, he doesn't look like he's got the big mustache, but he's not even bald.
I think that's what makes it worse too. It's him being bald. That makes it 100%. It's the bald and the red.
Oh man, no, I don't even know what I don't think I'm actually seeing pictures of this guy.
Okay, you're just seeing randomness.
So maybe he did, but I do not know.
Okay, that's
Oh, man.
hilarious. I'm glad you noticed that too.
Oh my god, it was so clear. I was like, what is going on here?
I mean, Sonic the Hedgehog
The
was made
shape of the
by
head.
Sonic the Hedgehog was made by Germans, so I don't know. Not Germans, sorry, not
Oh.
Germans, not Germans, sorry.
Oh.
Japanese. We're just talking about Germans. So I got Germany in my head.
Okay.
Remember the Japanese? I don't know if they necessarily use a German general as inspiration for their villain. I don't know.
Yeah, probably not. Oh, and so I was like, okay, he's the super villain of this movie.
Yeah, 100%.
Who, there's also a villain in this movie, and it's the kid that kills Kat.
Oh yeah, no, I
The
didn't know.
farmer's son. He sees Paul in the farm stealing the eggs, locks the door on him, but they escape. We get like a 30-second close up of his face, like brooding. I'm like, what is going on here?
That was why that you want to talk about dramatic.
That's what I'm saying. So there's a few things in here that's a little too juiced up for me.
The kid,
what is that?
That is the only, like, I should say the only, but the only like clear cut point of the movie where I took a note on like, okay, is this kid the devil or something?
Yeah.
Why are we getting? Although when we see him look at him, and the kid never says a word too. That's what makes him feel more devilish, like he's possessed or something.
True.
We see him, he catches Paul, and it's like, oh snap! Kid just stares daggers into him, and then closes the door, locks it, and then the brooding shot of him staring at him from a distance when they're running away, and then when we see them again, it didn't even feel real. It felt like a lucid dream or something. It's like, okay, I'm actually seeing this kid. I'm having just like hot flashes because like they almost got us. But no, the kid is just staring there again, saying no words, just staring daggers. And I'm like, what is this kid?
Yeah, that was really weird, and I mean, I didn't like that. That's how Kat dies.
Yeah, I know.
Like Kat, he's our mentor, right? He's showing Paul the ropes. He's saving him in these situations. He's a badass in all these battles, and he gets taken out by this kid when he's like, he's unarmed. And even off screen, like we don't even see it. Like I'm guessing because we hear the shot go off and Paul starts to run after him, and then Kat walks out of the forest. So I'm guessing he gets shot and then chases the kid and like kills the kid. And maybe they didn't want to show us Kat killing a kid. Like what happened there?
That was an interesting choice. Why everything being off screen, because like we hear it, we don't see the shot, and then like the kid is like, where's the kid? Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I was like, did he kill the kid? Like, are we gonna see like a shot of like a legs on the ground? Like, you could do that. You don't necessarily have to show him killing it, but just kind of lets know what happened. But they don't. That close up of the kid and just the whole aura on the kid was so dramatic that it just felt like this was an origin story. It felt very much like Incredibles. It's like you mess with that kid when he was young, and that kid turned out to be. Like I was waiting for
Joker.
I was waiting for that to be in the post credits. Like that kid turned out to be, and then like some dictator or something in France.
Yeah. That's Adolf Hitler.
Yeah, I would put Hitler, but I was like, the kid's supposed to be French, so like,
oh right,
I
know
that was Napoleon or something. I don't know.
Oh,
that kid turned out to
that would have been. He went back in time and became Napoleon.
This is what I'm saying. Like it just felt so dramatic. I'm like, who did that kid turn out to be? It's like, is this some historical like uprising that started with
Sonic?
That's Sonic. Yeah, that part was a little interesting. Just that kid, that whole kid scenario.
Yeah, that was weird. That was weird. I didn't like the whole kid thing. See what I mean? Like that's like it takes you out of the movie in that sense. Or like this is where you're talking about like, oh, we're gonna get a post credit scene of this kid. Like this is a World War I anti-war film. Why is this here?
Yeah, no, 100%. I think another part, like now we're kind of in that area of just Paul bringing back Kat, and then you're realizing he was just carrying a dead carcass. Basically, I don't know at what point he was dead, but. And we even get the point when the French, like now it's done. The French are driving by and they're like, actually, I guess it's not done at that German point. Were they still German?
I thought it was German.
I thought it was French because why would they not help them? You know what I mean? Like to me, I saw that scene as like these are French. Oh, the war is over. Like we're not gonna fight, but like because like hey, it's gonna be over soon. So like there's no point in killing these guys. And he's like, yo, guys, war's over. You might as well help us. And they just drove past. Otherwise, why would their own guys not help them?
Well, no, because the war wasn't actually over yet at that point.
I thought the news was going around that it was.
The news was going around that like it'll be over tomorrow morning, but it wasn't like that. Like the armistice hadn't taken effect yet. So yes, they were like all partying, like the war's going to be over. But But I don't think they would have just like without the armistice let the French just drive right into German territory, because there's clearly in German territory. Went to this farm twice.
Yeah, no, I guess that's true. I don't know. I guess I read it wrong, but from what I was seeing, I thought the sentiment was just like, oh, like war, like the war is going to be over, so there's no
Mhm.
point. Like nobody, because like even when they were showing the French and like they were like sitting there drinking the wine stuff like that,
Yeah,
they're like, yeah, we still got 45 minutes, but like
we're
we're not going to
chilling.
do anything. Yeah, I thought so. I assumed those guys were French and we're just like, we're not gonna kill them,
See,
but we're not gonna help these guys. Also, that's a little bit too
right.
much.
See, I don't. Yeah, I don't think. I mean, I could be wrong. I don't know for certain, but I don't think so. I think it was more just like, yeah, the war, like you said, the armistice signed tomorrow morning. Like we got a couple hours, but like we're chilling. So they didn't think that he was wounded. They
Mm.
weren't gonna expect anyone to be wounded. So
They
someone's
thought
like,
he was drunk or something.
yeah, maybe
Maybe
they
yeah,
thought he was drunk, and they're like, hey, stop! Like, screw these guys. I'm not gonna give them a ride into
yeah.
town. Like, we're just having a good time out drinking, partying, driving these trucks. That's what I thought it was, but
Mm.
I don't know for sure.
You're probably more right, to be honest, because that probably makes a little more sense of like, yeah, there wouldn't be just like, yeah, just French soldiers just driving through like that, and like
Yeah,
them just and him even like probably even thinking that should ask them for help.
yeah,
But
yeah.
maybe in that moment of desperation, I was thinking just in a moment of desperation where like, I don't even care if you're French or German, please
Right.
help me. Like this war is meaningless now. Like we're about to be done anyway, so you can at least help another person out. That's what maybe I completely misread it. We'll figure this out after the podcast is done, and then
We won't figure it out. We'll never know.
yeah, that's true. We'll never know.
Don't lie
Yeah.
to the film family. um, okay, I got a couple facts. Do you have any more points though?
Um. No, I think that's it. Yeah. No. What are your
So
facts?
I got this one is crazy. This is so cool. So Leslie Patterson and Ian Stokel, who wrote this,
Yeah.
obtained an option for the film rights in 2006, but couldn't get funding to make it, and they faced an annual option renewal, which cost about $10,000 a year.
Mhm.
So Leslie Patterson started participating in the Xterra triathlons in 2011, winning the top prize of $20,000 5 times over the years, which helped allow them to preserve the option for 16 years until the film got made in 2022.
That's insane.
They were like, we can't afford keeping the film rights. What do? I'm gonna just go win 5 triathlon championships, make $100K, and we're halfway there. Because
That's
apparently
insane.
they spent $200,000 in those years to keep the film rights alive.
That's insane.
How crazy is that?
That's absolutely. What was the guy's name again?
Leslie Patterson, she's a woman.
Oh, the woman. Jeez,
Yeah.
that's shout out to her, man. That's crazy.
But that's insane. You imagine writing a movie and being like, "Oh, we can't get funding. Okay, maybe next year, maybe next year, maybe next year. Damn, we're running out of money." Like this is just an option for her.
Yeah, that's what I'm
That's
saying.
insane.
What an absolute beast, man.
That's so
insane.
crazy.
That's absolutely
Shout out
insane.
to Leslie Patterson. You are
Real
a
one.
boss. That's crazy.
Absolute real one.
Okay, last thing is Eric Maria Remarque,
Mm-hmm.
who is the writer of the original book, was a soldier in World War I, like we talked about. This book inspired many other veterans. Apparently, it was like one of the first to write about their experience at war, and led to dramatic representations of war in theater and film. So very influential in the media around film and or around war. And actually, in 1933, Nazi propaganda minister Joseph Goebbels banned his works, calling them unpatriotic, and they were removed and burned. They were one of the ones that the Nazis had on the ban list and burned.
Yeah, that is crazy. I actually just saw that too, which is wild. Because I mean, they said it was like unpatriotic or something like that.
Yep.
And then I saw another note on that they went even further with that. That like they later on in like I think it was in 1943 because he fled because like they were
Mhm.
coming after him. They ended up executing his sister.
Oh snap!
Yeah, as like a thing, as like against him because of his book and everything, and all the
Damn.
things he was saying that were like anti-Germany. Yeah, it's wild times, man.
I did not see that, but I mean they're freaking Nazis, so
Yeah,
I don't.
no, you don't doubt it at all.
I don't
100%.
doubt it at all. Yeah.
Absolutely
Damn.
crazy. But my thing was like, how did it work with the burning? I guess he always had like the one copy or whatever it is, like all the mass copies they burned, and I guess
Yeah.
anything that like, because I assume this book was big enough, like because that Germany didn't come to power for like a while after that. Like he wrote the book, and
Yeah.
then so there was some time for it, I guess, to spread out. But any copies that were in Germany were just banned and
Right.
burned. But there was
Yeah,
still
it became an
that,
international
yeah.
book. So like all the other ones that, there would have been copies that survived, but any ones that they noticed, I guess, throughout the war, whenever they were going through Europe and stuff, they would have burned. And all the ones in Germany, yeah, for sure, would have been illegal to read and burned all that stuff. But yeah, there would have been some surviving copies, obviously.
Yeah, no, for sure. It is interesting too. There's a lot of those things that, like, I definitely want to go back and watch these movies, like watch this movies, just as to see the comparison.
The
Like, I
old
like,
ones, yeah,
yeah, like
true.
I like going back and watching like old movies too, because there's always that added context of like what was going around, especially with a war movie. It's a little different, but it's weird to go back and like you watch a movie and like only World War One has happened, like World War Two hasn't happened at that point. Just like any movie in general,
True.
or just like you watch any movie post World War Two, or just like it's messed up in the sense of like
9/11.
yeah, or just like any movie, then you can kind of you really get a sense of history without even like really the movie wanting to do it when the movie's in that time. Like
Mhm.
for us, for example, like you watch a movie like just the way black people are in movies over the time. Like just see
Yeah.
the way black people are in 80s, 70s, 60s, 50s, 40s, and it's just very different. You're like, oh, okay, I see the change of like what black people are in these movies versus today. It's like just like anything. A black people could be anything in any movie at this point. But like you just as you slowly go back and watch older movies, you're just like, oh, that's different. Or just the way people are acting within culture, the things that they're saying. So sometimes like, there's that transatlantic speak that's always like a little funny thing for me. Like, hey, see, buddy, pal. Like that's always hilarious watching movies and hearing people talk like that. But I can get over that to certain. It's tough for me at first to get over that watching old movies, but it still makes me chuckle a little bit hearing people talk like that.
That's interesting. Yeah, and I mean, yeah, you're totally right. It's all that stuff's always funny. That's an interesting point about like you can kind of get a sense of what's happened, what hasn't happened, not even by the movie saying it, but just the way people are acting, the things that people are talking about, maybe stuff you see in the background or the clothes they're wearing. Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff like that. I think something about this movie too is like the fact that they added in the armistice negotiations.
Yeah.
Also, just like as someone that likes history is interesting because that is basically what caused World War II.
Yeah.
Was like all the conditions that they had to do made their country broke and in a terrible position. So Hitler had this opportunity and showed them like, no, we can do this, kind of rose them up a little bit, and everyone got behind him, and that's how he rose to power. And then what happened, and yeah. So I think it's just interesting history wise that little nugget is in this movie.
I think another thing that adds more context to it is like when that book was written and when that movie was made, they didn't know the political side. You know what I mean? Like any person like you or me now can know all these things.
Yeah.
Like if someone made a movie like right after World War II, it looks so different than someone making it right now because now we have so much information. They have World War II on film. There's all these documentaries, all these movies, all these documents have been found. So people be like, oh yeah, they changed the movie. It wasn't like the original ones. Like, yeah, because they didn't know.
Right.
This movie can add that other layer of context of having the political stuff in there, having different things because they just didn't know. Like he was only writing at that. He was writing at the like being an actual soldier, but like he didn't know about all that political stuff that was happening.
No, not at all.
No. And like just regular people can just go on ChatGPT or go on the internet and then they could know about it, but that guy wouldn't know about it just because that information wasn't accessible to him.
100%.
So,
do you have anything else?
No, that's it.
Well, then let's get to the Filmmies.
Let's get to it. Yes, it's that time. It's time for the Filmmies. And if you're new to the show, this is part of the show Scott teased earlier, where we give out 6 awards to the film we just watched. And if we both, I always mess this part up. But now it's just like a bit of me of trying to say I always mess this part up. If we both have the same award, it's deemed as certified. So we'll see. And if we get all 6 certified, then the show ends. So like we'll see.
That's right.
We'll see if that happens.
If we both do the same one, it's undeniable, certified.
And the the first award we have is our Ferris Bueller Award. So the Ferris Bueller, we kind of teased it earlier, goes out to something that we deemed lazy in the movie. It could go to a character, character, writer, director, or anybody that was involved in the movie that we felt like something was deemed lazy. So Scott, I'm curious to hear who or what got your Ferris Bueller Award.
We actually talked about it a little bit already, and
Okay.
it goes to Paul.
Okay.
And it's when Kat gets shot and he's bringing him back for help, and he lets the truck drive by.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you're calling for help, you're yelling, stop, stop. Jump in front of that shit. Like, do you see them coming for a while? Like, jump in front on the road and like wave them down, and be like, hey, I need help. Like, all you gotta do is yell, and now your friend's dead.
It's a good point.
Lazy.
That's a good point.
You got to stop those trucks.
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, the effort wasn't, and you got to eat a little bit of eggs, so you.
Yeah, that's true.
It doesn't get better. Yeah, it doesn't get better than that. You got the doesn't get better than that eggs. So you should have you should have some energy to at least.
Yeah,
you're carrying
a dude.
The
world's best meal, apparently.
Yeah, you're carrying a dude through like John Cena style. Like you're about to give him an AA, like a finisher, all the way down the street. Like if you can carry a guy, you can jump. You have enough energy to jump in front of a car.
Yep, 100%.
So,
you got to stop those trucks. You 100%. Have to.
Yeah, 100%.
And now Kat's dead.
100% well deserved.
And now his wife is not getting money. She now has a dead son and a dead husband, all because of Paul.
Yeah, well, Paul's also dead too, so he's not really feeling. You're trying to put shame on him, but he's not feeling it.
Yeah, you got me there. Got me there.
He does deserve the Ferris Bueller.
Okay,
it's well deserved. Nice. I didn't go the same route. We talked around this, but I didn't. Okay. We didn't specifically say the thing that I feel is lazy. And to me, my lazy award goes to the dad of that kid.
Wait,
the dramatic kid. No, the dramatic kid that we were talking about. The origin story. Yeah, the farmer.
Okay.
Yeah, so the farmer. The farmer's not the kid, but his dad. I'm talking about the kid. The kid's dad, the farmer.
Yeah.
My lazy award goes to the farmer for letting his son go after the soldiers instead of him.
Damn. That's a great point.
Because that conversation happened, right? I can't imagine the kid just strolled off. Like, your kid just left with the gun without you knowing to go get those kids. I feel like there was maybe a little bit of conversation of like, oh, dad, I'm going out. And if not, you're lazy. That's just laziness as a father, not to realize that your kid just completely left to go chase.
You're in a fucking war zone.
Yeah.
You have to keep tabs on where your kids are at, and where your gun is at. So the kid just grabbed the gun and walked off.
That's what I'm saying. The farmer.
Such a good point. Or the kid was like, "Hey, dad, I'm gonna go kill that soldier." He's like, "All right."
Exactly. There's all the scenarios that we thought of makes the dad lazy.
I love it.
You should go do it. You should keep track of your kid. You should keep track of your gun. All of them he didn't do, and that to me that's just chalking off as lazy.
I did not think about that, but that is a great point. Yeah, fantastic, great award.
Thank you. The farmer, come on,
great
do better.
Stuff.
Do better.
Yeah,
and we don't know if his kid's dead or not. So
true, he might be.
So ultimate terrible father.
Bro's lost a goose, 2 eggs, and a son.
Come on, Doug. And possibly a gun. You might not be getting
and a gun. Yeah.
Yeah. You're not. Yeah. You're living in You're living in a war zone. I don't know what's going on.
Come on, man. That's a great point. Great 6 or not 6 man.
Ferris Bueller.
Ferris Bueller.
I don't want. You could take it even further. His security on his farm. You know what I mean? Like this already happened to you once. I think you got to maybe be a little more patrolled on what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, in his defense, what else could he do? They climb the gate's locked. They climb the fence. He's got a dog out there. Maybe the dog. Give a lazy word to the dog for not calling him.
I don't know. I need to. Maybe I just need to go revisit that whole scene and just think about what needs to be done.
Really dissect what he could have done better.
It's the whole fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice. Right. You know what I mean? They fooled you twice. Yeah. I don't know, man. Anyway, I'm moving on from the Ferris Bueller. This farmer's getting me worked up.
That's a good one.
Next award we have is the fit check. So pretty self-explanatory. I'm curious who got your best fit of the movie.
I gave mine to Berger, Daniel Bruhl's character. So like the German negotiator.
Okay, yeah.
It's one of the scenes on the train. It's not really anything specific. He's like signing a document or something.
Yeah.
He's not really doing too much, but he's got a striped dress shirt.
Yeah.
And then he gets up and goes and like looks himself in the mirror. He's got a brown cardigan on. And I just liked like the round glasses, like the Harry Potter glasses
Yeah.
almost, and the mustache. It was a good look.
Yeah, I figured that's where we were gonna end up with our fit checks. It's gonna
It had to
be
be on that side of the story.
no,
Yeah.
100%. No, that's a good. I know exactly the fit you're talking about. That is a good fit.
Hmm.
It wasn't my fit check.
Okay.
So, yeah. So
I mean, everyone else is just like soldiers in uniform.
yeah,
right?
exactly.
So,
No, but mine was on that side too.
okay.
It just didn't happen to be his. But I that was actually almost my honorary because it was. I wrote it down. I was like, that's gonna be my fit. But then as I was scrubbing through again, I was like, ooh,
Okay.
I'm feeling this fit. And this is where I had to struggle with the name. The character's name was Hauptmann von Heldorf.
Okay.
So this is just like one of like his like I don't know if it's like a right hand man of his or just like just someone that worked with him.
Another German politician or
exactly.
whatever.
He had like this dark green jacket, dark green pants, and he had like the decorated like braiding on it. I had to look up what it was called. It's called frogging.
Frogging.
Yeah, frogging. Yeah, like
Okay.
it's. I'm actually gonna send you the picture so you really get the sense of this because I actually took a screenshot of it. But like,
Oh,
I just thought it
nice.
was fresh. Like it had the frogging on the chest, on the shoulders, on the cuff. I just sent it to you. It said delivered, so you can see exactly what I'm
I
talking
can
about.
see it. Ah, okay.
It's
So
tough.
it's like it's almost like a rope that's being. Oh, he's their translator,
Oh, true. Is he the translator?
isn't he? I swear he is.
If he is the translator, they want to call him the translator. But I thought that it's just like a classic, like just. I think that's a
Yeah.
very common like army wear or like
Yeah. So
so.
guys,
But I thought it was.
Google All Quiet on the Western Front German translator. Maybe you'll see this guy. That's a good fit.
But I think it's pretty fresh. I had to give him some. It's especially in a war movie. We're not seeing much, especially
Right.
on the war side. So like when it's anything that popped out to me, I was like, okay, I like the frogging. I
The
didn't know that's
frogging
what
is dope.
it is.
I need a frogged jacket.
honestly, that's not a bad look. Honestly, you could rock that. It's definitely a special occasion kind of fit.
Yeah.
But hey, we you might see us frogged up on the podcast.
Frogged up is crazy.
It might happen. It might have to happen now. But
That's funny. Yeah. Good fit.
thank you. That's the frogged up. I like that.
Frogged up.
Next award we have is a 6-man, aka our Peyton Pritchard Award. So this goes out to someone that we thought showed out in their small role in the film. We changed this rule up, so sometimes they don't actually have that small of a film. I mean, small of a film, small of a role. I'm saying that because my person is one of those. But
Okay.
I'm curious to hear who your 6-man was. Not quite the MVP, but they showed out in their small contribute to the film. Contribution to the film.
So my 6-man, mine is a very
Okay.
small role.
Okay.
I give it to the guy. I don't even think he has a credit. He could, but it's just the names of like Capitan Paul Lepelche and like you said, Hauptmann. How did you even find that that's the guy's name that you're talking about? I don't even know.
Oh, it took some heavy digging.
Some heavy lifting.
Yeah.
Anyways, so I gave mine to the guy who gives the speech to the new recruits at the start of the movie.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
He lit that place up. I mean, they were so fired up
Oh, yeah.
after that speech. I got a couple of his
bars.
some of the bars that stuck with me. You'll break through the enemy lines in Flanders, and in a few weeks, you'll march on Paris. They all get fired up. The future of Germany lies in the hands of its greatest generation. My friends, that's you. And they're all just cheering up. Like that place was getting all the way fired up. They're losing this war very clearly, and he's just firing the hell out of these guys, getting them ready for battle. That's the only scene he had, and he murdered that hype up speech. So he's my 6-man.
That's a good 6-man. That's a very good 6. I got a message from Eloise actually because she overheard us talking about frogging.
Oh, okay.
So I'm gonna read it on the podcast because she sent this to me.
Okay.
She said
Breaking news.
frogging is a knitting and crochet term for undoing. So because of the sound of the rip it. Oh, it sounds like rip it.
Okay.
When you're pulling up the stitches, it sounds like croaking of a frog. Okay, so
Damn.
that's why it's called frogging.
Okay.
Interesting. Thank you,
How does
Eloise.
she know that?
Because she's literally knitting actually in the other room, which is kind of funny.
She's a knitter. Okay.
Yeah, she's a knitter. Well, she's trying to get on the knitting, and we mentioned her name during this podcast. You probably heard that too.
She's getting a lot of love. Yeah.
She is getting a lot of love in this episode. This is Eloise episode.
Okay.
But
I love the contribution. Frog.
no, that's a great 6-man. It's a great sex man. I'm kind of mad I didn't give because like that's a memorable scene to me, and I was thinking I was like I didn't go that route.
Mhm.
I've gone that small route of just like the person, but then sometimes like
There's a lot of routes you can go.
there's a lot of routes we can go, and I ended up giving it to the composer. So
Ah,
Volker Bertamen
okay.
is what I tried to pronounce. I think that's how it is. But I think I just think the music really elevated the film from just like the touching moments, a lot of the moments we talked about, to set to like them just like eating the geese and stuff, and then to the moments of like the death. And there's actually a specific song that stuck with me, and you hear it throughout the whole movie. Like the name of the track is called Remains, and it's like that.
Mm,
Like you hear it throughout the whole
yeah,
movie, and it was just I don't know, it just created this element of dread throughout, and it's like scenes where, like when they're marching, is when they're still happy and like they're playing that, you almost get that feeling like, oh man, like they're in for it, like this
yeah,
isn't gonna be as good as they want or as good as they think it's gonna be, and then you get that same thing when they're in the war too, and when
yeah.
they're about to get bad, like when they're like the bombing is happening to them, or when it is bad. So it's like a motif. Is that the term for it? Motif, yeah, motif that you hear throughout the movie that just sticks with you, and like that's just like a sound from the movie that like it kept sticking with me every time it kept playing, and I was like, I have to write this down. Like I wrote down like just like the music, and I had to look up what the name of the song was. So I gave it the composer, like he did, and then it ended up winning. I think you said right,
Yeah,
it
yeah,
won.
yeah, exactly. Best original score.
So that's why he ends up getting my six
So
man.
he's got an Oscar and a six-man
Yeah.
filmy.
Hey,
His trophy room is looking pretty sweet
it
now,
is
huh?
looking pretty sweet. I
Put
mean,
that filmy up on the top shelf.
yeah, put the film in the top shelf. The Oscar one could go maybe a little bit below.
Yeah, right
I'm
beside it or
maybe the
just underneath
side,
it.
yeah, yeah. But you gotta get we
Use
got
the
off
Oscar to prop up the filmy.
exactly. but but no,
Good
I
pick.
don't,
Yeah, the music's great. I think because I mean we talked about how dramatic this movie is, and
yeah.
the music really adds to that. Like
Mhm.
when they really want you to feel something, they use the music as well to push that point across, and the music bangs. So
Yeah,
great
because
point.
like the thing is, like when you watch a movie, there is always that element. Like
Hmm.
there's a score in every movie, but it's just certain movies that it just hits a little harder. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like that's why people like Hans Zimmer are known. You know what I mean? And our guy
Ludwig,
Ludwig. There was a
Ludwig
Ludwig in this
stuff.
movie too. So there was a
Was
guy's
there?
name. Yeah, I mean that's a classic German name. But
Yeah, true.
yeah, there's a reason
Who's
people know.
Ludwig?
I don't know. I just remember hearing the name in there. I can't
No,
for the
you're
life of
right.
me
I see him again. I see him on the
on
cast, but
the
I don't know.
casting. It doesn't have a
Maybe he was just
picture.
one of the friends.
I think yeah, probably he could have been the glasses guy for all I know. Like I forget
Yeah,
the
true. He
glasses
could have been the
guy's name,
glasses guy.
but
Yeah,
no, for whatever reason, like not for whatever reason, because it was just so powerful. Like it really hit for me. So I had to give. There was going to be a nod to the music in some aspect. Either we're going to talk about it, and I just saw an opening in the Six Man. I'm like, that's a big
yeah.
part of the movie. It's definitely not a small part, but I'm like, we break the
See, but the
rules on
way
this award all the time.
yeah, but again, like I think this fits into the rules of the award because yes, his music is over the entire movie, but he only has control over that aspect.
That's true.
Like if the acting sucks, if the direction sucks, if it doesn't look good, he's not doing anything about that.
That's
His
true.
role is the music. Yes, it's all over the duration of it, but it's only a small piece of the whole puzzle of the film.
That is true. And I think it's also just another way for us just to give someone an award that's not the
True.
MVP. Like because
Yeah.
the MVP is like it's like the most outstanding part. And you could argue that he could be MVP of the movie.
For
Because
sure.
we've given composers MVPs before and stuff like that. In the sense I had an MVP in my mind, but I was like, I need to give this guy an award because it was something that stuck out to me. So that's why he ended up being my sixth man.
All right. Good pick.
Next award we have is our quote, pretty self explanatory. So what was your favorite quote of the movie?
I gave this to Kat,
Okay.
and it's the part of the movie when they're going to find all their young recruits. They're like, oh, there's 60 young recruits that are missing. Where are they? We're going to find them. And then they find out, oh, there was gas here. And then
Hmm.
they find all the kids and they're dead in the room.
Yeah.
And Kat walks in and he says, bloody kids. They took their masks off too soon. Soon, Germany will be empty.
Damn.
And I think it just really drove the point home, like the hopelessness that they're feeling in this moment. Like they're on the front line. They're, all the general and the negotiators and everything, they're like, yeah, we're losing this war because we're getting pushed back and everything, but like, so maybe we can negotiate and stop it. These guys are in it, and he feels this hopelessness and like has that same mentality as Berger, the negotiator, who's like,
Mhm.
we are just dying, senseless deaths, useless bloodshed, the war's lost, and soon Germany will be empty. The waste of life, the negativity, like all of that, just it really hit me in that moment, in that scene. See, it wasn't like uber dramatic. Like they
Yeah,
find the kids lying on the ground and he's just like, damn,
yeah,
like instant negativity. It's that to me, that one hit for me, and that's my favorite quote.
yeah. No, that was a really powerful scene. Like I had that written down as just like as like a point. We didn't end up talking about it. We're talking about it now,
Yeah, because I
but
left it for this
yeah,
point.
which is fair. I usually feel like that's gonna happen. Like when something like a dramatic scene or a big scene happens and we don't end up talking, I'm like, it's probably gonna end up in the awards somehow, or someone's just gonna like flag back to it. But
True.
yeah, no, I thought that was really because they didn't have, it was like a show like a show. Well, not show don't tell. That's not the way I want to say it, but it was more of those situations where like they didn't actually have to show us the what actually happened to them. You could already imagine what happened, and
Mm-hmm.
him just saying like, "Oh man, like they took off their mask too soon." You're immediately in your mind get the picture of like that scene that happened that you missed out on, and it hits just as hard without you actually having to see what happened to them. So I think it's
Yeah,
really
because I mean,
powerful.
even just the way that they're all laid out in the room, they're all just like laid out in this big room. So I'm guessing, they got thrown gas. They're like, okay, get your masks on and let's hide in here. And maybe they like, before they went to sleep for the night, took their masks off and like like just died overnight, like didn't wake up. I don't even know for sure. Cause I feel like it would have been a little more chaotic, this like the scene that they show up to, if it was like they took their masks off and they're all like, oh no, I can't breathe, and they're like running around trying to put their mask back on or something. I feel like it would be like a slow death. But
Yeah,
again, they don't show us, and they don't really have to. Like
no,
we get the weight of what happened
yeah.
just in their reaction to it.
Yeah, and like you said, I think I go with what you said, where it probably just happened in their sleep, and that's why it felt
Hmm.
like the way they were placed and everything. It probably it leans 100% to that.
Yeah, that's what I think anyway.
So my quote is kind of a goofy one. So the
Okay,
contrast of
that's
your
okay.
you mean no, it's just a funny. As I'm hearing you, I'm like, this is a great quote. Mine is just goofy, so I always love it when it goes that way because it just I always kind of feel like a
It's a
jackass.
versatile award.
No, it is a versatile award, but it's just funny. We always change up. Sometimes it's like really deep moments, it's powerful. It's like, okay, this was some funny shit that was in the
Yeah.
movie.
Yep.
And that's I
Exactly.
went with that. And
Okay.
it goes to the officer that wakes them up. This is the night after they're passing around like the cloth that they got from like Eloise and they're all sniffing
Mm.
it. They're smelling of a woman and all that. And the officer wakes them up and he's like, line up for God's sake. You think the Frenchies will wait for you to comb your pubes?
Just classic like
Yeah.
drill
Oh,
sergeant type stuff,
100%.
just like roasting for no reason, saying the most outlandish shit you could think of. That's amazing.
Exactly, and that's why I had to write it because there's not that many jokes in this movie, for
No.
example, and like that being in there, I'm like, all right, I have to. I don't have to, but it was just something that made me laugh, and I was like, okay, I'm definitely because literally I didn't get the full quote. I just remember I had to scrub back to later because all I wrote is like Frenchie's comb pubes, and I was like, I'll go find the full quote later, but that's 100% in my nomination for quotes, and yeah, I ended up winning as you see,
Nice.
and I couldn't find the officer's name because I don't think you even see him. I think you just hear his voice screaming at them. So it was very hard to
True.
find out who the heck he actually was. So I couldn't actually
Yeah.
the Filmie won't actually be sent to the guy, unfortunately. I know I apologize. Usually we try to get these sent out to the people, but couldn't
Yeah.
figure out who this
We'll
guy
send
was.
it. We'll send it to Netflix and get them to like run down, find out
Yeah.
who he was in the cast, and he'll
Yeah,
get it.
there
Don't
you
worry.
go.
We'll
Perfect.
figure
Yeah.
it out.
Yeah,
Our
don't worry,
people
film.
will contact their people, and
Exactly. Don't
we'll
worry,
get it
film
figured out.
family. We're not cheapskates. We don't do we send out all our awards, so don't worry. We don't
That's
hold
right.
out. Uh
That's right.
next award we have is favorite best scene. So again, very self-explanatory. So what was your favorite scene of the movie?
Uh, we talked about it. I gave it to Paul reading the letter from Kat's wife.
Hmm.
Again, I don't know why they have to be at the poop bench for this. I feel like they could have had them just like sitting in a trench or doing anything.
Yeah.
Literally,
No, literally.
I don't know why they had to be doing that, but uh, like I said, it gives us that sense of brotherhood. You know, the mentor, the big brother kind of aspect thing. Um, both actors are great in this scene. We have Paul who's reading the letter, and he gets that swing of emotions, like we talked about when at the start of it, it's like, oh, you know, I'm gonna send you, and she lists all the things, some cake and some bacon and some sauerkraut and all this stuff, and then his face just like the pause and the drop in his face when he gets to the line about his son's grave.
Mhm.
Like he starts to say it and pauses and looks at him, and then Kat just kind of he kind of pauses and like looks forward, like knowing what's coming, and then he continues on in like this more somber
Tone,
emotion,
yeah.
and it was just like it was just very powerful. I just thought, yeah, it was a great scene.
Yeah, no, it is really it is a really great scene, and yeah, to your point too. I mean, we talked to the of nauseum of why did they have to be pooping for it, but
Yeah,
I was almost gonna say could they have been like peeing, but that would have been harder to do probably because it's just like one hand on the John, one hand on the note kind of
yeah,
thing, and it's just like
that'd be a long pee
it
too.
would be a long pee. And I was just trying to think of all the different moments because it had to be just the two of them. Maybe that's why it had to be there. It didn't have to be, but that's why they because like every other place would have been like with around people. What else would you just have two guys with each other?
There's a lot of scenes of them just being by themselves
What is after
when
like
they're
deaths
walking
and
back
stuff
from the
like that?
farm,
That is
and
true. But at that point, like people are dead. That's why they're alone. Otherwise, they would have been
yeah,
with the boys.
that's true.
At that point, the boys, majority of them were still
The boys
alive.
don't poop together.
I guess not.
Oh,
I
come
get,
on, guys.
yeah. I guess you guys are getting a little. We don't poop together on the Film Room podcast, but maybe we should. I guess. Well, you're saying it like the boys don't poop together, so
We're
I'm
not at
saying,
war, Dion.
all right, that's fair. Yeah, podcasting, movie podcasting is not war. You're 100% right.
No, it is not.
But no, that's a great scene. I didn't go with that scene. Damn,
Okay,
we don't get any certified. The podcast isn't gonna end, guys, because right now
we're
we're
good.
getting
Yeah.
nothing. But my favorite scene, we talked about this scene too, and it's funny because like part of the reason I was defending it, but I understand why we were like poking at it, saying for how dramatic it was. It was
Mm-hmm.
the scene of Paul struggling with the French soldier's death.
Okay.
And I was tiptoeing, not talking about it. Even like in our general thoughts, I wanted to talk about it, and I immediately shifted to another one because I was like, I don't want to talk about my best scene right now because I know we're going to talk about it again, and we did end up talking about it for a while. But to me, it was just like all the things that it went through, right? Like it goes from there's the near death fear because there's a guy behind him. He has a rifle. I'm like, okay, Paul, here's our guy.
True.
How is he going to get out of this? The guy gets a bomb, explodes. So then it's like, okay, now it's a survival thing. It's me versus this guy. Stab him. Okay, I assume that's gonna be the end of it. And then he has to sit there with them, and it's like, oh man, like this is tough. He's gonna hide and die next to this guy. We're seeing him struggle with just because now we talked about it's a moment where of stillness. So now he's just horrified by the sounds of war and everything. Obviously, he's hearing the bullet shots. He's hearing the explosions, but he's also right next to this guy who he hears dying. He's telling him to shush. Disrespects him, like we talked about, shoving the mud in
Yeah,
his
that was
mouth
crazy.
and everything, yeah, which is absolutely disgusting. And then it switches to him like, oh, like maybe I should save this guy. Like I'm pouring dirty ass water in his mouth, which
Yeah.
that's not going to make a difference at this point. But and then it's him scavenging through like his wall and stuff, like realizing, oh, this is actually just a guy, and just
Mhm.
seeing him go through those emotions. So it's like we went through all these different emotions, and we talked about, and I agree, and like we're kind of dancing on that line of if it was too dramatic, if it was too long. But to me, it was just my favorite scene because it was definitely something that stuck with me. And it's definitely a scene that I'm going to remember, like when, like a year from now or months from now, when people's like, "Oh, have you seen All Quiet on the Western Front?" This is a scene that's going to stick with me. The pooping scene, probably because we talked about that for a while, so it's just going to bring me
Yeah.
back to that. But yeah, this was my favorite scene just because how much they brought you through with it.
Yeah, I think honestly, as we talked about it more, I think I can appreciate it more, even just as we kind of go through it.
Mm-hmm.
We mostly did talk about it, and your points are very right. Like all the emotions that he's going through, it does make sense that it would take so long, that it wouldn't, like you would, because you're at one total extreme. Like I have to kill this guy or he's gonna kill me. That's crazy. I've never
Yeah.
been in that situation.
Yeah.
Like that's a state of mind that like
Mm-hmm.
is just something that you don't come off of in 10 seconds.
Yeah.
So I get that. Yeah, all the swings of emotion. I did like also like having him open the wallet, going through the pictures, just to again remind you like this is a real person, just like me at the end of the day, right? Like
Yeah.
we're not here because we hate each other. We're here because we have to be,
Yeah.
and we both want to go home, and nobody wants to be here. And I think the like stuffing the mud in his face, I was like, I get that you're like, okay, I'm gonna choke him out and like kill him quicker, but then you stop doing that, and now like there's just a bunch of mud in his mouth. I was like,
Yeah.
that is
Yeah.
nasty
It
work.
was
That was
nasty.
brutal.
Yeah, it was
But
gross.
I think it is like memorable, definitely memorable.
I think I lean to more towards like what it represented. I still like the scene, but like I think I was just taking all the things where it's
Hmm.
like really it's just like, oh, this scene is like, oh, I'm just a guy, you're just a guy. And that's why I look at that scene as like that was the realizing like, okay, like I've been snapped out of like the psychosis that I was in of like need to kill at all costs. And it's like, oh snap, wait, we're just two guys fighting a war that's not really our choice. We're just doing this because we kind of have to. And like that's what that scene like represented for me, like for the movie, and that's what the scene was. So I think more I'm leaning towards of like what the scene represented. I still like the scene, but I guys we were talking about, I can agree that like it was dramatic and stuff like that. But I'm not wavering. I still keep
I
it.
think no, I think it's the drama actually kind of makes a little more sense in that scene. You know, as we talked about, it was more like the kid and like the
Yeah,
villain. Like that's some dramatic stuff. There was still was some like really dramatic stuff. Paul dying, the way he goes
yeah,
up the stairs. But like I think in that scene, it actually
works.
it makes a lot more sense than I initially came at it with.
Okay, that's fair.
I like it.
I'm glad we can
You
talk
turned
things.
me.
We've done it a
You
couple of
turned me.
times where we've talked about certain scenes where maybe the other person didn't like it. Like, you know what? Yeah, you're right.
I mean, we're like we say all the time we are not movie experts. We
Yeah,
come in with our opinions,
yeah,
and we watch a movie and we write our opinions down about it, and then in having discussion with someone, we maybe notice things that we didn't think about, or we realize things that someone else thought of that we didn't think of, or just hearing another person's point of view. That's the whole point of a conversation,
no,
right?
for
We're not
sure.
coming in and be like, no, this is my perspective. I am not changing from it. That scene sucked, and nothing you say can change my mind. That's not what we're doing here.
No, 100%. Yeah, that's not what I want to do, right? Like, I'm not
Yeah.
coming in here and just like I have these opinions I'm not changing, and like I don't even
Yeah.
want to like hear because otherwise we could just have separate one man podcasts. If we just wanted to,
True.
if we just wanted to spit out our opinion and not hear someone else's perspective, we wouldn't. You wouldn't talk to another person. You just like make a YouTube channel and then just spit. And I'm not even shitting on those people, but that's what that is. Just like I just want to like go on the internet and just say my opinions and not hear any pushback.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say my opinions. The comments will give you pushback, but those are the people you usually want to go back and forth for because like they're not.
That's what I mean, because
You're an
they have that
idiot.
perspective. Like, no, this is my opinion, and any opinion you have that's different is wrong, and you're stupid. And
Exactly.
yeah,
Last but not least, we have our MVP. So who's your MVP?
I gave my MVP to Felix Kammerer, who
Okay.
is our lead actor, plays Paul.
Yeah.
I just thought it was a great performance. I think, it, I the movie was so dramatic, but he chewed up all the dramatic scenes that he had to, and that's like the tone and like that stuff. That's not him. He's doing what he's asked to do, and he did it to the best of his ability. He did it great. There's times of sadness that he showed when he's crying when his friends die for the first time. He's collecting their tags. You had talked about that. Times of fear. When he's like you said, the guy has a gun. He doesn't know what to do. There's times where he's like, with all the bombs are going off around him, and he's very scared. There's also the times of fun, when they're
Yeah.
like the moment of brotherhood, when they're cooking the goose and they're having a good time eating the goose. When even in the poop scene, when at the start when he's reading the letter, and
The poop scene. Not
when
even the
he's
letter
reading,
scene, but go.
and and his wife's talking about like, oh, you're gonna get all this good stuff, and he just like looks at him and is like, oh, imagine she could see you now with your cigar, like having like just the moments of brotherhood and fun. And and a specific moment too that I wrote down was when at the end when the general sends them all back out.
Mhm.
He's like, no, we're gonna end this war with a victory, not a loss. We're going to go home as proud soldiers, not losers. And we just look at not even a close up, but it's a wide shot of all the soldiers around Paul, but he's in the center of the frame, and his face is just so distraught. He's just like, "Are you kidding me?" Like he looks so defeated. He's like, "All my friends are dead. I've been through all of this shit that we've just seen for 2.5 hours. I barely survived all of that stuff. The war is over in half an hour, and I have to go back out and do this." And he just looks so defeated. He's just like, "Man, there's no getting out of this." True anti-war stuff. Like he looks truly defeated, and then he goes and he ends up dying 10 seconds before the armistice takes effect. But he had a great performance, and he's my MVP.
Yeah, no, it's a great pick, and he's also my MVP.
There you go. That's a certified MVP, baby.
There we go. And it's funny because like as you were saying like his name when you're saying it's our lead, I was like, I know who it is. I know who it is. That's my MVP too, bro. Like, yeah, he not to beat a dead horse, but like you said all the things I was gonna say. Like he was the driving force of this movie. Like I wrote that I thought it was his facial expressions that like really brought a lot of those scenes of the terror, the joy, the sadness, the happiness as you were talking about. I wanna shout out Kat too, just for like he was getting down when they were eating the goose and they were all jamming. He got up. I don't know if he's hitting the stanky leg or whatever it was.
Yeah, he was cooking,
but he was good. He was getting down. They were singing and stuff like that. It was just all these like wide range of emotions, and Felix, like the actor, he delivered on all those especially like the terror. It's the terror, it's the dread, it's just everything. Like I feel like he felt every emotion in this movie, at least all those like the very like strong emotions. And a lot of the times too, it's like we're watching it. I assume you watched it with the English subtitles, like in German, right? Now, like you didn't watch it dubbed.
No, yeah,
okay,
yeah.
like so, like where there's obviously like a little bit of a language barrier. You're still reading the subtitles, but even just through his facial expressions, you could tell. Like you're talking about, like 100% know what he's feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, like reading subtitles, you can lose a little bit of just like emotion stuff like through people's words, but like you get everything that he's feeling from his facial expressions, regardless of the language barrier. And just reading subtitles, it's like it was just so strong.
Yeah, conveying emotions was absolutely incredible in this movie. I think his acting, he also has to like do fight scenes. Like he's got to do action too.
For
like
sure.
he's doing that as well. The I mean line delivery I can't really talk about much because I'm not German, so I don't. Yeah, I can't.
But that's what I
tell
mean.
any
That's
little
why I'm
nuance
saying.
stuff, but
That's why I'm saying it works because we don't know what the line delivery, how it's hitting, but he's hitting us with just his, like as if this was like a silent film.
yeah,
Like if you're watching a silent film, we know exactly what he's feeling. Just turn off, like literally that scene. There's a lot of scenes, but I'll go back to the scene with the Frenchman like dying and him stabbing him, all that. If you just muted that, you know exactly what he's feeling. Like the way he's just holding his head, the way like the tears are hitting, you just see him holding the guy. Like you could understand the whole scene without hearing.
I mean, there isn't a lot of words in it.
There isn't a lot of
but
there's a lot of words, but that's what I'm saying to that scene. You could get everything that he's feeling
true.
without, because I actually don't think there's any words. There is no words really.
I think he maybe like he yells at him to shut up a couple
Yeah, I
times
guess
when he's
that's true.
dying, but honestly, that's the same thing that speaks to like his performance. That's a hard job to do. The director's like, okay, you're gonna kill this guy, and you're gonna be all pent up, and then you're gonna be mad about what you did. You're mad at yourself, and you're hearing this guy die. Then you're gonna crawl over here, and like your emotions gonna flip, and then you're gonna come over here try and save him. Like you have to do all of this stuff, and go through all of these emotions in one single scene. Like we talked about how well he did it for the entire movie. To do it in one scene, without words to convey that information, to do it just on body language and facial expression, is very impressive.
No, 100%. And that's when like obviously we're not experts, we're movie fans, where we appreciate that extra layer, because when you really like break it down, like it's not real. Like this guy is not actually at war. That dude's not actually dying. Yeah, he didn't actually kill that guy. That guy's actually dying. He's actually putting himself in all these ranges of emotion. You're being like, we're watching him being like, okay, he went up and he went down. Like this guy is doing that without actually not even actually having to go through any of this. He's just acting. Yeah. So it's just so strong. And he killed it. I think he absolutely killed it. And that's why certified MVP. Our only certified, but it's the MVP. So
Yeah, the most important one. And
Exactly.
I mean, you're right. Like he is driving force is a good word for this movie. Like I mean, every movie has a main character, but this one is like very heavily centered around him. Like
Mhm.
other than the negotiation scenes, are there any scenes without this guy?
Not sure. It's a good point. I don't think so.
Like he's in a lot of this movie and it's his story. Like all of the people around him, you know, we get attached to them and we see how he feels about them and what their outcome is, but it's his story and he's in like all of it and he
Yeah.
kills it all.
I need to go see.
Incredible
I need to
performance.
go see what 1930s Paul was saying. I need to compare the Pauls now and see who
Mm.
out Pauled the performance.
True.
I need to see who the best Paul
That's
was.
true. The Paul of the 19 yeah. We'll have to see.
We'll have to see. Apparently, he's gonna be in the actor's gonna be in the new Frankenstein movie. Like
The Del Toro one?
the Del Toro one. Yeah, I don't know how big his role is, but I was just looking at his IMDb quickly, seeing what else he's been in, and he's gonna be in that new Frankenstein movie.
Cool.
So we'll get to see him again.
We'll get to see him again. Looking
See him
forward to
again.
that.
I'm looking forward to that.
All right. Well, certified MVP. We'd love to see it. Thank you, everybody. That's going to do it for us. Thank you for listening. We very much appreciate it. Be sure to check us out on socials. If you want to be part of the family meeting, contribute to the to the podcast and the conversation, you can find us on Instagram and TikTok at the Film Room Pod. We're on YouTube, Film Room Podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify. Search for Film Room. You'll find us. If you liked the episode, we would very much appreciate a 5-star review.
5 stars.
We'd very much appreciate that. Helps us grow. We appreciate it. Other than that, we'll see you next week. And Dion, take it away and end it off.
I want you guys to remember that fall is coming. So when you get cold, just like the boys in the movie, stick your hands in your pants and listen to the Film Room Podcast.
That'll warm you up.
That will warm you up. Peace out.